Welcome everyone to our lecture. We are going to be discussing Arknights Endfield. And we're going to be talking about everything that has come out so far. We're going to discuss the gameplay, we're going to discuss the story, and you are going to determine the correct feelings to have, because this sock told you what to think. Now, firstly, let's bring out the Eternal chart. Okay, I can't see my cute anime girl, but that'll have to. Ah, no, I'm doing the wrong thing. Move the damn chart. There we go. Get a little smaller. Alright, so here you see the chart. You can see the chart here. Gacha, time, expectations. It's a very wonky chart, yes. It is a very wonky chart, but do not worry. So, let's just go over it one more time from the beginning. The longer your time goes by, the more expectations for the story, the gameplay, and everything else involved in for a gacha. It's at the start, the lowest expectations. This is the point in time where you will have the easiest chance of getting new players, despite having a trash element in your game, because it could be improved. This is the early part. Why is it different fonts? Because it's funnier. 2. Arknights has a few qualifiers for it. 1, it has higher early expectations because it's attached to Arknights. Endfield is attached to Arknights. Arknights 1, for those who don't know, is extraordinarily well known as one of those in the same field of Girls Frontline. It's one of those darker stories, more complex. You know, we've got our rock racism, we got our super cancer, we got our cults. Things are a lot more complicated, factional differences, countries, interfighting, war. There's a lot more going on in Arknights 1 that is very different from, say, your Genshins or something like that. It's more inbuilt with those things. So those expectations from number 1 push expectations for number 2 up. Even if we don't want them to be exactly the same, there's a boost there. Now, I'll tell you right now the minor conclusion before we get into the details. The story and lore fell short of expectations. Quite well short, in fact. But while the story and lore did fall short of expectations in Chapter 1, the gameplay went so far above expectations that we're looking in the stratosphere. Alright? This chart is too complex to understand. Get a degree and come back to my stream! Okay, no, stay. I need the viewers. But essentially, the gameplay pushed it so much higher because it's a collective expectation. It doesn't live or die on one little thing. I mean, I know there's some people out there who'll be like, oh, excuse me, her breasts weren't large enough, I'm leaving. But all of the elements such as gacha characters, gameplay, and all of those things just come together. I keep zoning out. Don't worry. I'm an insane person who's making a stream on a fucking gacha game and discussing it in depth. I clearly expect everyone to zone out, but as long as you're still on the stream. Not enough TNA, I can't comprehend this chart. Yes, I would show some ass, and I will show some examples of ass. We will show some examples of ass. The only way I 2D, why isn't there a third axis? Because I'm lazy. And it was funnier when I made it in Paint. Now, let's start with the good. So let me pull out the second big thing I have here. This is the big one, guys. This is how you know it's a fancy stream. The good. The bad. Got to make sure you don't go broke to keep your content away from intending depression. Thank you. Truly. Plus 1,000 detective points. Social credit. Alright, the good. Factory. Just straight up. The factory is peak. It's not... Okay. Factory gameplay, you've probably seen it all over Twitter. You've probably seen it all over social media. It is excellent. While, yes, a comparative, reduction, you might even say, or some people might, comparing it to, say, Factorio or Satisfactory, they might say, well, this is a downgrade, or this is a limited form. That is complete garbage. This is a gacha, and the form of the factory they put in here is excellent. It's fun, it's exciting, it's interesting. There's so much you can do with this factory, and if you're the type of person who's obsessed over building up bases or making sure flow rates and things are efficient and making all those numbers match with the limited amount of resources and the upgrading of the area, and then like using that money to go back into the factory to upgrade your bases, to upgrade your gacha girls, as well as like increase the plot and like what's that, deal with, and then even that feeds into the defense mechanism of the bases with the tower defense. It's excellent. It is an excellent build, and more than anything else, unlike a lot of gachas that love to put in like, ooh, it's the Pokemon event, ooh, it's the little like the mini event, look, we've done Vampire Survivors for a little bit. Yeah, those are tiny, kind of like pretend gameplay. This, they went all in. The factory went all in, and it made something extremely good. And in fact, so good that at this point in time, I am pretty sure we might see Endfield going forward as a front runner for more variant gachas. Not everything has to be, yeah, mini games. Yes, fucking mini games. It's not everything has to be a Genshin Impact variant clone. I feel like in terms of gacha games, it depends on how to be free to play in comparison to pay to win. Yes, that is also something I will discuss as well. That's something I would definitely discuss. For reference here, I am complete free to play. And also another reference here, I'll mention this for later, but I have played through the whole main story, all the currently I've played through currently out events, the main first chapter story, and I've engaged heavily with the factory mechanics. I have not done all of the adventure or side quests, and I have not done the next area. Now you might think, well, how can you make a discussion? I know the next area is good, but there are fundamental problems I don't know if they can solve. But we're going to discuss that now, and then I'll play some more after I finish my little discussion. Hey there, Arctic. We are welcome to the discussion. So, that's the factory is great. And I think the feeding of the factory's gameplay into a lot of the other parts of the story really does... the other parts of the gameplay does push forward. Like, you know, you're building your gear out of shit you make. You've got to have a good handle on your factory. And of course, they give you the option of, do you want to be a brainlet and just like take other people, take the pre-made blueprints, because they hold your hand of a lot. As a Factorio player, they hold your hand. But that said, it's kind of necessary for someone who's never played fucking Factorio. Let's be honest, gacha gamers playing Factorio? What next? OnlyFans girls doing taxes? They just don't get it. So, it just doesn't work. Now, I just want to mention some minor elements with the factory that could be a problem, and I think it's coming into my theories later for why some of the bad things exist. The factory does dictate the story a little bit, and that might be to its detriment in some way, but it's not something that couldn't have been covered for with better writing or better, like, you know, excuses. So there's some elements there that might be going, who knows. But essentially, Factory is amazing. An absolute out of the park, potentially the first of many gachas to take the step into making their gacha mixed in with something called a real game. Prostitute accounting game would go high. That's real. 100% that's real. I'm telling you right now that there exists a prostitute accounting game. I'll have a look at this comment before I move on. I feel like a lot of games have been a copy of Breath of the Wild in terms of open world to make, not saying it's bad or whatever, but having an open world, which literally barely nothing in between each objective is draining at times, and I'm sure it's a good connection. A lot of gacha games have been getting an open world like Breath of the Wild. Now, I agree with that. The idea of an open world has been done to death, and a lot of the time they try to input things between it with simplified mechanics for the combat, or not simplified mechanics, sorry, but like, you know, just little moments of combat, not a lot of interactivity. It's not like it's a GTA world, and they often, and this is talking in a generalized, I'm not talking about Endfield specifically right now, and then like just like, oh, collect all of the billion-ty things type stuff, or just collect stuff in the environment that isn't that important. But Endfield has another point that is really good for it. Movement. The movement around the world, I was supposed to like movement slash world, I would say. So the world and movement through it is extremely good, because you might get, oh, why would I get bored of I would get, you know, I'm running from place to place, because you can build in the world. Now, it's not to the degree of, say, Factorio, where I can put a giant belching oil thing in the middle of this pretty glade yet, but you can make your zipline connections, and I must admit, I spent way too much time making the perfect zipline connections to make sure I get to go where I want to go, to, you know, cheating it just enough to get my power connection just to the right area. And there's so much fun in building the connection and the power and the infrastructure in the world. It's just like that kind of element of Factorio. Simplified, yes, because all you're building is power connectors, you know, a few easy stashes, and perhaps the most important, zip lines, which are very fun to build around. But there's a satisfaction in going, okay, so there's a mission where I have to take X to Y and I get a bunch of money. But I can set up zip lines so I don't move anywhere, I don't touch anyone, and I can avoid everything and all the negative points. And just doing that is just a lot of fun. It's really, really good with the movement. And I've heard people say, oh, the characters move too slow. Honestly, just get better. Get better. The movement system in this world, with the jumping and the ability to go around, is excellent. In fact, I'm actually supportive of not having the Genshin approach of just staminaing out, crawling up everything. It limits us, yes, but it brings out creativity. There are limits within creativity that can bring out. I need to vibe code for a porno game for a lawyer, with a lawyer for taxes. A lawyer wouldn't know how to make good porn. Now, so there's another good thing. Now, let's go on to another one. Art, character, design, character. Oh, okay. I'd say character and environment. So, the characters in the environment. You can see it right now, actually, if I was to just quickly take away my chart and my notes. Just look at it. Now, obviously, this is the newest area, but just look at that. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Look at just this ground here. Now, I know you might say, oh, but Genshin's got this. No, this is definitely a par above Genshin. And comparisons, while nobody likes making their comparisons for gacha games, do have to happen in this world. They are a reality. Reminder that the anime girl tax filing visual novel got deleted from the internet because no one wants to host a game that asks for your SLO. The environment is definitely gorgeous. I'd take 1 million. Yes. This is one of those games where you take 1 million photos. Weathering Waves, for all of the negative things I've said about Weathering Waves in the past, which I haven't done a little stream like this, but I did have a crazy rant in a previous stream, is a gorgeous game. It is definitely true that this game is perhaps one of the prettiest. It's up there with what I've seen for Weathering and other things like that. I mean, obviously, at this point, you're like, oh, all games are pretty, but you got to appreciate when you see it. Reflections, beauty, characters, effects, they look good. Characters as well. Let's have a look at my characters. Just so you can get an idea of what the operators look like. So this is our Endmin, and I do want to speak about Endmin. There's a lot of good things to say and negative things to say about Endmin. One of the things, I like Endmin. She's cute. The male version is, who knows, who would ever click that. This is the anime girl that I mostly use because she's hot. I got no other idea. I haven't even met her in the story. Big old and very Arknightsy designs, you know, very Arknightsy designs with like all the armor and weird shit on her and stuff like that, as you'd expect. The off-brand Chen from Arknights 1, who's actually cute and nice. She won't yell at you, so that's nice. We got our secretly probably occultist, which also I will get into. That's hot. Damn straight, it's hot. Damn straight. That menu, yes, it is. I will say that's another positive for it. It's not something I want to put down, but another positive. And because I've been playing Nikkei, this is very fucking important to point as a positive. The user interface is very good. There was a few moments where I took a little moment to figure out where something was, but generally, extremely good user interface. I understand where everything is. And the women, very cute so far. They're not as over the top as and like detailed in some cases as, say, Zenless Zone Zero. I would say Zenless has perhaps the most over the top hot characters you could possibly have. I play fucking Zenless for 5 minutes, and I did play Zenless actually the other day, and I went through the newest chapter of season. I went through chapter 1, season 2, and good lord, their ass. Sorry, that's distracting, but you still get some like this, you know. Very cute, very hot, 10 out of 10. She's only a 4-star, but she's in my team because I like her. My team is this one, and this will lead into what I wanted to discuss about combat, and why I have a little bit of a biased view on combat. My entire team is made up as non-meted girls that I just found and I thought were cute. There is absolutely no logic in this team. I have not thought about anything aside from giving them what I can do best, because here we go, look at this, another gear thing. All of this is from the factory. The best stuff I can get, all stuff from the factory. I just got it. This is all the armor is from the factory. The most, the kind of gacha element comes for like, would you get the right bonuses? Comes down to, oh, what's it? Not this. Sorry, infusions, which are usually in their weapons. But visually, well, I'll look through some of these other girls. You're looking at something real quick. Zenless has the hottest character, so bounce. Yes. Like, let's not pretend here. This is a safe Guna zone. Zenless Zone Zero has the hottest anime girls in any gacha that I've seen. And that includes any of the random little bits I've seen that, from fucking Brown Dust that everyone loves to goddamn just lose their mind over. Zenless is way hotter than those characters. And it comes down to money. Now, these characters, they're slightly more simple, like just not too much, not much at all. Slightly more simple in both their movement and their animation. Not much at all, but I think it's like a small reduction. Obviously, they're not as big as Hoyoverse. That's just one thing you have to understand. And we got our big guys. Now, yeah, I'll just keep going through these so you can see who I've got. I haven't even used this girl, despite the fact she looks really hot and cute. And also, I've heard that if you play on the English version, yes, Panda, indeed. If you play on the English version, they do follow with the Arknights logic of having the voice actors have their voices attuned to their cultures. Because Arknights 1 was very much one of those games similar to Girls from Rhine, where they're attuned with the nationalities and entities. So they would have, like, voice actors who would have the accent. Like, someone who was, like, Italian would learn, who's Italian, would then speak in English with their Italian accent, being very heavy and stuff like that. See, this guy is Italian, I believe. He would have been there. Yes, I do have, like, characters like this. I refuse to use them because, I don't care. We also have some Rhodes Island girls. That's something to discuss as well, but I'll get into that. And, of course, we've got our low tier 4 stars, although he's a cool guy. I don't think he's bad. He's a big lizard man. Big lizard man. And she's sleepy and cute. I like her. And Boring Boy, who will forever be in the coal mines, locked at levels 1 forever, and will never go higher. The Shiba Inu girl, 10 out of 10. You know what? I'm gonna say it. The fucking Endfield uniform, it's kind of cute. It's kind of cuter than normal. Desandra is a misandrous. Hell yes, I'm a misandrous. There will be no men on here. Girls goon line. The hose don't get cold. No, anime girls don't feel the cold. Haven't you? No, yeah, like, yeah, I thought this the first time I saw her. I was like, wow, she's like in a snow outfit. It's like, okay, why just the arms? But this is just anime logic. We have to accept that. Now, sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. My coffee. You know, mid-lecture. Who hasn't had a lecturer who sips midway? But yes, so design-wise, we're looking at some good stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. And let me just pull back this so we can get our notes and chart back. Because these are important. These are important elements. Detective had told me on occasion that he would kill all of us for a single date with Bibu. I haven't said that before, but now that you mention it, I would agree. That's true. Fucking... Actually, no, I wouldn't want to fuck a rock. God. But then, no, wait a minute. I did watch Hoseki no Kuni. Hoseki no Kuni, I'd probably, yeah, you know what? I'd risk it for a Hoseki no Kuni girl. But the arms get cold. You know what? That's why you have to invent ways to heat them up. Okay, now we're getting at it. We're getting off topic. This is not the stream where we discuss how to fuck a rock. This is a stream where we discuss this. So, let me get back to the good here. So, environment. The environment is well designed. It works really well with the movement of the world and really well with the factory. Basically, they all come together really well, these three things. Were excellent build here. Now, I think there's another category. This part is the I know I said bad there, but I feel like this fits better. That stream is next week. Oh, yes, the stream next week where I discuss the in-depth methods of how I would have sex with any of the girls from Hoseki no Kuni. All right. So, combat. Now, this one gets an asterisk. That's because I, as you've seen, have an off-meta team. My team is entirely designed around maximizing their current levels and current stats and current substats with good weapons I can grab for them, but there is no consideration for flow. There is no consideration for what works together. It is all just about how hot the girls are and whether I like them. Yes, I am gooning, maxing as a gacha game. I think that was partially intentional as a way of determining things, and also partially because I have relatively recently, started to embrace the idea of I can play a lot of gacha games if I just don't try and optimize myself. That said, I probably would have if I was a bit smarter. But here, the combat is multiple. For example, we look at our girl here. You see those two women down there? They would be in my team, running around. Like, it wouldn't be a switching back and forth. You'd have all of them in your team, and you'd all be fighting together and using your abilities. You are just like the maestro. You control their abilities. You just hold down basic attack. It'll go through a combo. You just press buttons on your keyboard to make them use their attacks. Occasionally, an option will come up. Slam E. You get an extra attack in. And you also have to do some dodging, some minor dodging. It's a relatively simple system when you get down to it. But it is got some interesting elements. I do like that it's multiple people. It also implies and builds up that you can have multiple other NPCs. For example, we could have like a battle or a war, and we did have similar things early on in chapter 1, where you had multiple other characters like fighting or shooting nearby, which is really cool. And that also bleeds into the fact that, unlike a lot of those other gacha games, they pretend that there's a large scale and it's actually like 5 guys. So far, and this includes big things like Zenless as well, where this game, when it says, oh, this is a big city, they mean it's a big city. Like, maybe it's not Tokyo, but it's a big city. This isn't a Genshin Impact situation where it's like, the big city, the first area, and it's like a small hovel with about, I don't know, 30 people living there, most of them in the hotel. It's not a hamlet that they're pretending is like the big world. This isn't like the main capital we're in here, and even the place we went to before wasn't the main capital. They're just areas within the world. So they've done a great job on scale. I know I've jumped back and forth a little bit there, but the combat is, when it works really well. And initially, I didn't love it. I was on the because it's a little bit like uninvolved, and it was a bit of a chonkiness. I'm just like hacking at someone to get their health down. But combined with the fact that I didn't really build my characters up, and combined with the fact that I didn't really build my characters up perfectly, and the team is not like compromised quite well, I can't really comment and say that I've been a very good player in that sense. So while I put it in the that's because I'm having a okay time with it, but I'm also negatively impacted by the way I'm approaching it. That's just me just being honest. I'm not going to fucking lie. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I had a bad experience, therefore it's terrible for you guys. Let's be honest here. Everyone has their own experiences. You're here to hear mine and complain about it. Now, I want to bring up, just before we move on to any other things, I do want to bring up another element that is involved here. Comparisons to other gachas. Now, it is a big thing to like a lot of people get upset at comparisons to other gachas because a lot of gachas have turned into tribal adventures where I'm like, well, my game, the game is so much better. Why are you playing Endfield when you could be playing Love Live Rhythm? Okay, or you know, Weathering Waves or Star Rail or Zenless Zone Zero. You know, they would go down that path of I'm a terrible at fighting, so I have no room to talk when it comes to that. You know, you'd probably be okay at this. There's less detail. You don't have to be as smart in the combat here. It's just mostly leveling, to be honest. It's a low skill. It's a low skill game, but it doesn't. But combat wise, while I am still a little unsure where I can rate, probably I would definitely 100% say that it's not as good as say Zenless. Zenless though is more arcadey. It's all down to preference at this point where you get that high. When you get high enough in the qualities of what you're playing with, it comes down to preference. I would still say that the most skill ceiling and high and enjoyable gacha combat out right now is probably Weathering Waves. I know that sounds crazy coming from me, considering I spent an entire stream crashing out about how bad the story was in Weathering Waves, and one day I'll get back to that. But the truth of the matter is, when you get this high, it just comes down to preference. So you might okay and prefer this because the combat is quite, just look away, essentially. It'll play itself. Now, on to another thing that I am not really sure about and can only really just go, gacha rates. Gacha rates. So, gacha rates. Now, you've probably heard a lot of things, discussion. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Was Weathering Waves that bad? In my opinion, Weathering Waves is the worst. Like, we look at that gacha chart for Chapter 1. Weathering Waves crushed this chart for expectations in Chapter 1 so hard that I started just screaming at the fucking screen and being like an insane person. It was very embarrassing. I want to go back, and I will go back, and there will be more discussions on Weathering Waves, but Weathering Waves is a good example of a gacha that hit the expectations very poorly in Chapter 1. That said, they can say that gets better later, but all games get better later. The gacha rates, however, for Endfield are considered quite poor. I never got the 6 stars because they have up to 6 stars. I didn't get that many 5 stars either. You already saw my characters. I only use, however, the free things they gave to roll with, and haven't even bothered to use my earned material, which I will actually show you while I'm here. I believe this is the earned material, this stuff here, Oribum. That's the stuff, and that's like the paid currency. So I have that much of it. I don't know how much that actually is. I have no idea. I have no idea what... In fact, let's look right now. Is there a headhunt table? So, okay, it costs a ticket. And I have 16 tickets. And... oh, wow, these are expiration? Fuck me, I didn't know that. Whew. Whew. I didn't know that. I should be careful. I'll probably roll that after this. In fact, that'll be a fun thing. We'll have some fun and we'll roll at the end. But yes. People say they're not particularly happy with the rates. That said, I don't care. I'm not a collector. Let's be honest here. I am not that other rates are bad. I am not a collector. I am not a waifu demander. I do not demand all my waifus come to my harem and live in my house. I simply target down the ones I want. So if a character catches my eye, I save up all my shit and I'm like, I just want one copy of her so I can get her quests and have her around so I can so I can look at her, so I can have her on my shelf as a shining example. So that's just how I am. So the gacha rates again is one that I will put an asterisk on. Your mileage may vary. I haven't really engaged in it. I can't really comment badly or anything for. And now, I think we're ready. We're ready to talk about the bad. But first, another good, which is really strange, but trust me, it'll lead into it. The event quest. Oh, the event quest. What a wonderful event quest. Let's just talk about it. This is definitely not me leading into certain other elements. This girl here that you just saw on the headhunt. This girl, she is a Rhodes Island girl, meaning she was from Arknights 1. There are some elements about the story about that. Yeah, I'm edging you guys. Who is from the Arknights 1, and her whole deal is that she has no memories. Her memories are fucked up. Basically, she has no ability to determine what her memories are from another person's memories. Some kind of shit got fucked up, and she can't determine it. Basically, she's got a brain disease. She's got cancer in the brain. Well, no, technically, we all have rock cancer, but we'll get into that later. Her event is excellent. Her event is wonderful. The main character, the Endmin, is active, is engaging with her. They have discussions back and forth. The Endmin, that cute girl with the mask on her face, is a real character in it. She's really, really fun character, and the story and the environments are beautiful, and it's got a little Inception vibe. We're dealing with when do we give up on something, and we're also, and even though it was for a character that I never really engaged with in Arknights 1, because I did play Arknights 1. I've watched a bit of the anime, but I haven't gone through the entirety of Arknights 1. I never engaged with her. I still loved this quest. It was a wonderful, wonderful quest that made the character of her impressive. It also made the character of the Endmin really, really fun as well. Wonderful. Detective, how does she fit into the hot crazy chart? Well on way to hot. There's no crazy. There's just pain for her. She's lonely, more or less. She's lonely, and she needs someone to be that home for her. There's no crazy here, unfortunately. I know a little bit crazy can get some spice. However, hot is well off the charts. Well off the charts. If we were bringing out the hot crazy chart, she is hot through the roof. She is perhaps one of the most attractive characters in the game so far. And I say that having known that I've seen Yvonne, who's that, one scientist with the big ass. But her quest is perhaps the best they've got so far. If I was to rate this quest on its own, it's a solid 8.5. Like, that's just a out of 10 scale, solid 8.5. It's great. It's short enough. It's interesting. It develops both my character and her character. It connects us together really great. Excellent writing. And it's the only example of excellent writing so far, at least in my experience. Detective gamble right now. My receptors need to hit there. I'm too broke to do it myself. You will sit through the lecture and we will gamble at the end, damn it. The lecture hasn't finished. Okay. Now, anime girl will stay up there because, you get to look at it. So, the event quest, wonderful. And here we come down here. Now, let's split this section. This is an important part of the game. This is the part where I talk about how my expectations were lost. This is the most negative with very little upside. There is some upside, but the upside is almost entirely brainworms online or people theory crafting a better story out of what they've currently got. So, we'll split it into sections. First, let's talk about the story as it is. In like the main story. This is not including the lore. This is not including the Arknights girls. This is not include from number 1 who are here for a weird reason. This is not including some of the more character depth. I'm just talking about the story beats in the main quest. They're very simple. Now, this is where I said before that the factory elements come into the story. A lot of the story quests, unlike a lot of other gacha games, are very much focused in on what you're doing with the factory. And following those through does change how things get played up and how you interact with the world. I can't donate money right now. Still waiting to send my boss said, yes, send streamers your paycheck so they can roll for. No, you can roll for yourself, Arctic. your eyes looking very droopy, teacher detective. Yeah, yeah. The new model is a good example of me post my video not doing so well. It made me sad. So the main story is quite meh. the characters involved are very attractive, yes, and while there are like some fun elements to them, you know, Chen's very excitable, Perlica is very is interesting and got a little bit of mystery around her, but generally the people you meet and the adventures of the story are kind of meh. So basically, you're here to just build factories and save the world by building these factories and building up defenses, building up the environment, which is great for the gameplay. But as a story, the enemy you're facing is very uninteresting. The land breakers. So these enemies you're breaking, and this comes into where the main story fucks up a bit, are very uninteresting, extremely uninteresting. They are, to put it bluntly, a bunch of Luddites. Their brains, they're just idiots. They're just idiots. They have no thoughts going through their mind. They have the brains of a rock, and they just do LSD and huff acid all day. That's them. That's the characters. That's all they do. But while they do that, they do it because they just don't like technology and progress. That's the reasons I get. There's a partial element coming into it of, oh, they prefer this other new spooky technology, but generally it just comes down to, what's that? You have something, I want it. We're not gonna let you like progress at all. We hate technology. That's it. That's them. They can't write. They when you find notes from them, they write like they're fucking orcs from 40k. But orcs from 40k are at least funny. The land breakers are a uncomplicated bunch of drug high idiots. There is nothing interesting about them. There's nothing complicated about them. They are flatly evil main characters. And it's so uninteresting. It is so uninteresting when compared to Arknights 1, because we have to bring in Arknights 1 here. Arknights 1, the first initial main villains you had to fight were fucking rebels. Not and rebels in the sense that they had an actual legitimate reason for their grievances. They were being oppressed, they were being in some cases genocided, they were being fucking just like socially like beat up, they would get shot, they would get killed, they would get forced into the worst jobs. They were an underclass of society that were rising up against violence. They were turning to more violence in their own way. They were forming into this way. There was a reason for why they felt the way they did. And throughout the quests that I played in the anime, especially early, you would feel that. And that comes across with a lot of the other characters, a lot of the other events and things going forward. Arknights had complicated characters and complicated motivations for their villains. Even if they were villains and still villains, and you could understand this is a bad character and this is not someone I support because they're like doing shit, but you could understand how they reached that point, why they reached that point, and you could even have a reasonable discussion with someone who's playing the game of, oh yeah, how do they feel, what could we do? Like there's complication and layers to this enemy. The fucking Landbreakers are a bunch of idiots who just want to shit in the woods. That's all they do. They just want to shit in the woods. They just want to shit in the woods and be like, oh, yep, I don't like progress. What's that? You have access to advanced healthcare? Well, not anymore. Fuck you. That's them. They are a weird, like, they don't make sense. They have no logical rationality of existing. Like, they're not even very, now there are elements you might say, oh, they're a cult. I wouldn't even say that. They're like bandits that are just following their leader because their leader's strongest. It's such an uninteresting group of individuals. And on top of that, the main villain, Nephrista or whatever, although she's got more obviously coming on for her, she's barely more interesting. She is just the standard anime girl who goes... anime girl in like a mysterious thing way of like, oh, I know who you are. Oh, you won't get me amnesia. Ah, yes, we're not so different, you and I. Ah, yes, I am a tyrant leading a bunch of unwashed acid users who spend their days working out at the gym and fucking shitting in the woods. And you have a bunch of factories and you're building society and making, I don't know, fucking homes for the homeless. Like, it's such an on-the-nose trope that does not fit. Now, that's the biggest issue coming into it. The enemies are cartoonishly evil. The enemies are cartoonishly, flatly evil with no complication. The only mystery to them is how evil are they, or what, or like how evil are they, and who's their final boss. It's not a question of how they reach this point. It's not a question of any complication of what their aims are. They are just evil. There is nothing there. And guess what? You, and this is another issue, this is another fucking issue that they just ruined badly. Okay, I'm gonna put this in here. Good guy versus bad guy. That's this story. Now, you might be like, well, of course it's a good guy versus a bad guy. You play a game. No, I'm talking about complication. If you go too fucking far in both directions, you make these weird, like, almost parodies. You've probably seen Perlica, the fucking girl you're hanging out with, where people make memes of her being a villain. And I'll get into that in lore in a little bit for why. But the point being, they do that, and I think this is partially the reason, because everything else is so uncomplicated. The society you're in, this civilization band, they even have a whole part where they talk about this. There is no gray areas. In fact, all the gray areas are in the past. Now, of course, Earth was different. Or Terra, sorry. Terra, which was the planet where Arknights 1 happens, was different. And all of the quest problems over there. But here, there are no problems. Everyone's happy. All of the environment societies all get along. Do they trust you? 100% they trust you. Do they have any issues about you having amnesia? Are they worried? Is there like rumblings or potentially like, we can't trust the Endmin? Nope. They are on board because you're the bestest and they're very good and they trust you. How's all the people in the world? Is there like a betrayer? Is there issues in the company? Are there rumblings? Maybe there's someone who wants to work with the Landbreakers. Ooh, what if there's some big villains there? Like, nope. Every single NPC is just the perfect goodest good boy. They're all so perfect. Everyone in the fucking first quest area, they just they want to work for the greater good, and they're just so sad they couldn't save more people. But you, Endmin, you could save them, and they trust you with their life because you're the Endmin, a god is sent. Well, not the god. That would have been fucking interesting at least. And they are just so boring. And that's the biggest threat, our biggest problem with the villains and the sides in this world. They are just so complicatedly boring. And you might say, oh, detective, well, wait a minute. There's this mysterious big bad. What about the glossy monster animals? What about the blind? Isn't that interesting? No. You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that those elements cannot be interesting. I'm saying that they've made them uninteresting because everyone involved in them and how they're shown is flatly evil. There's no complication. There's no discussion. And you know what? This goes even worse because you know what's shown as the good guys? Everything we do. So you know what's really good? The fact that we seeded a planet with the cancer rock that ruined the previous planet. What the fuck is wrong with us? What are we doing? What is going on in this world? Why are the good guys and everything they do, regardless of what it is, shown as you are just doing the best you can and you're all good? There's no complication. There's no misunderstandings that could even lead to a mild error. Everyone's happy. Everyone's working together. We're living in a fucking utopia of society. And you know what makes it worse? You know what makes it worse is they had complication. They had difficulty. In the end of chapter 1, the end of the first chapter, they do a little time thing where they show you your history as the Endmin, which I will talk about in a moment. The Endmin is a character who over time is continuously woken up to deal with problems on Talos 2 and sent back to bed. Now, there are some mystery around that, but those mysteries I'll put aside for the moment. But the point I'm trying to make is, okay, what am I trying to make? I've lost in my anger, I lost my point. Oh, God. Okay, yes. They show the history, and they show that in the past, There was the first big war when like the connection to Terra, because our planet is no longer connected to to Terra anymore, broke off. So there was a big war there. Ooh, crazy. That would have been exciting to be involved. But, you know, I can understand having a big lore thing back then. And then we have more stuff happening. Then there was apparently a time of civil war and strife, where the various, because remember, these aren't countries on this planet. There were various industries and various government entities from governments on Terra that were sent over here to do things. So they started arguing and fighting against one another, and war started to rumble. And I'm like, okay, all right, civil war, that's interesting. This sounds really cool. Okay. And then you show up and fix it in the cutscene. And I'm like, okay. And then another war happens, and you show up and fix it in the cutscene. And another. Basically, everything that you could imagine that could be a problem in this world happened in the past. Right now, all civilized nations are a unified group of good buddies, and that's it. Now, I'm not asking to have complications, or I don't need them going to war with each other, but add a little bit of spice. You know, it could be as simple as this. Maybe during like a conference call, there's a little bit of distrust between the members. Maybe there's a little bit of like, oh, things are getting weird. Are you sure you're putting the resources in the right area? You don't have to make it a big deal. You could just give me a little bit of fucking spice instead of just giving me this mashed banana. Not even mashed cold fucking porridge of a goddamn story. Because they just have nothing. They have nothing with their characters and their world and their story. Well, no, sorry, not characters. They have nothing they don't want complication. They just want happiness. Everyone's good. And the villain's all evil. And you know why? And I think I know why this happened. And this is when I want to bring it up. Your pressure might go up. Yeah, okay, maybe. I will bring up why I think this happened. I think there was two factors that affected the story for why you suddenly became good guys versus bad guys, and we are both cartoonishly far on that spectrum, and there's nothing in between, and there's no complication or difficulty on any side. There's no good guys on the bad guys, there's no bad guys on the good guys side. There's no complication, there's no rationale. We're just flatly the better side, and they're flatly the bad side. And I think it's because we killed them. In the cutscenes, in the game, it is very clear that when you stab someone with your sword, a landbreaker with sword, they are not just like, oh, I'm knocked out, where some gacha games will pretend like you haven't killed anyone. Or they'll just sidestep it and won't question it. Like they'll just go, oh, you were just fighting monsters. And like everyone else, you just beat up and they ran away. That kind of thing. Nope, this one you straight up killing them. And I think somewhere along the line, a corporate person said, well, if we're killing them, we can't. Like, if we're killing people, we have to make sure that we have a good reason to kill them. Like, there's some sort of... I believe there was an attempt at, like, oh, we can't be killing people without question unless they're clearly evil. So, essentially, the Landbreakers, they might have had more complication before, have been shoved into a more, like, a more, like, cartoonishly evil position because they want to enable like uncomplicated murder, which is fine. Fuck, I would have been fine with it even if there was complication, but I believe that's one of the things that's pushing them into that direction. Now, teacher, can I get a snack? Hey, I told you to get snacks, but you can go get a snack. You can get a snack. I will allow you snack getting is fine. I'm going to drink a bit of water as well because my throat is hurting. So this is a water break for 5 seconds. God damn. I needed that. All right. So let's try to calm down a little bit. Let's stop the screaming. Let's stop the screaming. That's probably hurting your ears. I'm sorry about that. So the other side of that, aside from the Landbreakers being simply made to be evil to justify the fact that the characters are killing them, is that they wanted to escape. They wanted to escape Arknights 1. Arknights 1 is still going on. It's still consistently going on. And they've basically established what happened in Arknights 1 is like confirmed. We've finished off that. But in Arknights 1, it was very well known that the bad guys were complicated. Just as I established before. The bad guys were complicated, and the good guys had some kind of, they had to wrestle with the fact that they were like trying to deal with countries that had done bad things to these people that they're fighting against. You know, they were in a gray zone. And while I won't say that, pardon me, that the main characters were like, you know, oh god, it's so hard being a centrist. I had to only kill half of the poor oripathy sufferers instead of the whole group. I'd let the children go. No, but there was a measure of complication in regards to what I said before: nation states, national politics, discrimination, racism, anger, the elements of free will, the elements of how much corruption should happen, what we should do about tyrants, about national governments that have too much power. All of these questions were floated and discussed. And I feel in this one, they wanted to avoid it so much that they went and made themselves a utopian society fighting a ontological evil. Their enemy is literally the people who want to shit in the streets, while they want to build bidets. Or is it bidet? Either way. The point being, I think these two elements, and perhaps other elements, came together to make the enemies very poorly designed. And that's where my thesis on why the bad guys are so bad. Now, let's move on to another element here, and it's also why I think, because think of this bad guy good guy thing links back into the main story, right? Bad guy good guy links back into the main story as a negative. So if you had a normal story, let's say, because like honestly most gachas, as we've said, have pretty mid first stories, but the expectations are low, so usually that's where they're learning their feet. They're trying to learn about these characters as much as we are learning about these characters, and then from then on it tends to get better and better, which is the same for almost every gacha in existence. Almost. Some of them do fall so hard first, like face plant right at the start, such as Weathering Waves in terms of story and character, that they have to get better later on if you stick with them. But generally speaking, the first chapters tend to be the lowest in terms of quality, because they're forced. They've got to force in a tutorial. They've got to force in a character introduction. They've got to force in a world. They've got to force in an enemy. It gets messy. They're forced to wedge so many things. But on top of that, you've also got to wedge in that there's no spice with these good guys and bad guys. There's no interesting element to that, and that also affects the story. Like, for example, let's imagine a situation where perhaps the main story, which I've said is mid, for Arknights Endfield here. Let's say there was conflict between the various sections of the workers' comp group in the chapter 1. Maybe the regions were before all this landbreaker stuff happened, maybe they were at each other's throats. Something was going down where they were building up to maybe not war against each other, but they didn't trust each other, and they started cutting off connections. They started getting angry at each other. The director couldn't hold it together. The director was in a house of cats, and the cats was running, and then they get attacked by the landbreakers and the enemies, the alien enemies, which I still haven't gone over, but I will. Enemies. And then we could have a whole story about not only us building the factories and rebuilding, but trying to connect these groups together. And perhaps you could even include, that, I mean, like, you don't have to, but you could say that maybe some of the people had legitimate reasons, and then those legitimate reasons to distrust each group, another one, were developed by, were exacerbated by the landbreakers who were maybe infiltrated, or the big bad lady or whatever, if the landbreakers are too busy huffing acid. Like, that would change very little in the story. That would change very little. But it would really improve it. But we can't, because we're all good guys and they're all flatly bad guys. Let's do the opposite. Let's say for the bad guys. Now, this is getting a little bit into the lore discussion that I want to get into later. But in regards to the Landbreakers, one of their defining traits is that they started using a technology called Ether, and its subsequent product Blight. Landbreakers, listen to them, Landbreakers. Wow, why did you just call yourself Hate of Progressor? Like, come on, it's terrible. But let's say the Landbreakers technology, because the technology they do use, and the only one, is that they are the only group, everyone else has tried to, but they're too scared of it because it's fucked them up, and there's been several historical wars and destruction and cataclysmic events from it. And to the point where everyone doesn't trust it anymore. This ether technology, this ether device, ether items, they're distrusted and they hate them, and they want to like either get rid of them or like control them or remove them. And that's a big thing. So this MacGuffin thing is powerful but lethal and dangerous, and the Landbreakers are using it. That's so bad. I wonder if there's a parallel of this that we're totally ignoring for what we're using. Not yet, not yet. But let's imagine that the Landbreakers were using this blight tech and this ether tech. And let's imagine that instead of those Landbreaker guys just being, I hate progress, is they hate what we do. And while I won't get into it, they don't like the progress we're using on the back of our Originium tech. They don't like it. There's something about it they don't like. There's some elements in the lore that we can talk about, because Originium was something gifted to humanity. It also did a lot of bad things to humanity. There's a very good reason why these Landbreakers might be like, we found a new planet. We don't want to use the technology why did you bring the fucking horrible cancer rock here? Why are you using it so aggressively? What is wrong with you? And then in their anger towards the society that is doing this, they go down this path of darker and darker. They aggressively chase this technology without heed to the safety. And as a result, they gain things, but they also change themselves. We could see them as something more, right? We could see them as something more, because we would see the Landbreakers as a almost tragic figure in a lot of ways, or perhaps someone that we might actually consider to have a point. Because the Landbreakers would be like, well, your technology has led to bad things, and has done bad things, and continues to do bad things. We don't accept it. There's a lot of history attached to it that is very bad for us. We don't like it. So we're going to find a new technology, and we're going to tame it. We're going to tame this technology before anything else, and we're going to use this one instead. Because this one is something we found. It wasn't something gifted to us, which is where I will now bring in Originium. So let's go into lore. This is another negative, because the lore, and this is negative, but I will give it an asterisk. The lore is interesting in a lot of ways, but they use it in very uninteresting ways. As I just described with my theory of how I'm headcanoning bad guys, the bad guys here, how they could act in a different way, and have a different reason. Lore is good, but it's just in service to a bad thing. And I can headcanon better ideas for it, but they don't really attach better ideas. Yeah, make them fight for a reasonable cause, but go too far. That's a simple reason. It's a simple thing that many gachas, many JRPGs have done. It's not even something worth thinking about, but it's just, it would be the most simple of simple things. But they didn't do it, because they want an ontologically evil enemy you can kill, and they also want to escape the moral complications that plagued Arknights 1. And I shouldn't say plagued, because they were good in that. They're trying to establish a different setting, so they've done this. Now, this is where we have to bring up Originium, because they're in their desperate, and this is what I'm saying, I think this is my theory, I should say, I've not got confirmation on this. They are desperate to get away from... They're desperate to get away from Arknights 1. They are desperate, in my opinion, to get away from Arknights 1, and they want to establish. That's why everyone's happy. That's why all of the world is connected. And one of the big things they did was make Originium, which in Arknights 1 was a material that both almost destroyed the world, resulted in everyone getting oripathy. Now, oripathy is a horrible disease that kills you, as well as be extremely virulent and will spread everywhere. It's extreme, and but also gave the characters in Arknights 1 their magical powers. So it gave them their powers to fight. So, and it was at the core of everything. Originium was a danger. Now, a little bit of lore spoilers for Arknights 1. Not much though. I've already kind of actually said this, but Originium was suggested. I won't go too deep because I personally don't know the extreme depth of it, but I've heard and talked to other people, and I've played a little bit myself. Originium is a dangerous thing that like ruined the society, ruined the Earth. It led to catastrophes on the planet. Like the planets had to be the fucking countries had to be moving giant like machines to avoid super catastrophes that would wipe out everything, and it was all because of Originium. Originium. It was the grand evil. Everyone hated it, and it led to all of the flow-on effects that we saw in Arknights 1. Everyone hated it, and everyone either wanted to get rid of it, or they wanted to, and they were violent about it, or they were aggressive about it. They wanted to cure it. They wanted to get rid of oripathy, which was the disease. A lot of complicated things that happened from it. It was, yes, jack. I understand. I'm wanting to listen to someone who's jack shit about. I do that all the time. But in Arknights fucking Endfield, they took that. Okay, so they go to a new planet. Just for reference, they found a portal on planet 1, Terra. They found the portal goes to this place. So went to this place. In the process of coming here, they have developed technology specifically that uses Originium. Now, I'm not sure if they developed that a lot post coming here, but they brought with them the cancer rock, the rock that gives you cancer, the rock that gives children fucking early death and rock silification and magic powers that can leave them isolated forever, a rock that has so much negative history attached to it. They brought it with them and fucking seeded the planet. This is the equivalent of going to like, I don't know. This is the equivalent of going to North America, to like the Spanish go to America and they accidentally bring along a bunch of diseases. What if they just purposely bring along like a guy they chained up in the back with fucking syphilis, and they were like, "Go wild, Bill, spread it. It's cultural enrichment. Come enjoy syphilis fresh from Spain, natives." That's the equivalent. Except we're using syphilis for magical powers and tech. Okay, that's not exactly equivalent. The point is, all of the trouble of Originium in this world is suddenly gone. Now, you might say, oh, you can argue around that. That's something we could discuss. That could be something you could even develop for. You could make a story that has those elements, you know, where Originium is somehow like now technology. You could even explain away why people are okay with it. And they do attempt to, in the most hand-wave fashion ever. And it's part of the reason I think that, again, they screw up, because they wanted to get away from Originium being an issue for as quickly as possible. So instead of saying like, oh, like, you know, getting into it or having some complicated stuff with it, no, immediately Persic is just like, Originium is not a problem. Don't think about it, Kanrinin. Don't think about it, Administrator. Don't think about it. You come across a little girl, and in the story, and it's she has oripathy. Her entire existence is just there so you can show off that, oh, this world has advanced suppressants that we manufacture at Endfield Industries, that we can suppress it for such a low price. So basically, it's fine. We can send people into the mines of the Originium that we brought here and started developing and completely fucking ruining the planet's ecosystem and like developing it with a new fucking form of entirely invasive rock. Like all the environments here, all the fucking native plants, all the native animals, hell, all the fucking native aliens, which I still haven't talked about because they're just so uninteresting. Maybe they're just attacking us because we brought a fucking weird rock that's ruining their planet. So that's that we, okay, I can't, it's hard for me to establish this, but it is absolutely out of character lore-wise and insane to bring this cancer rock and start seeding it in a planet. I would have been so much happier if some terrorist had brought it and just like exploded some of it onto the planet. And they're like, no, it's spread. We can't stop it. No, a cult did this. Oh, no. And then maybe they're forced to work with it. You could do something with that. You could have a civilization band. And this is once again, I'm taking their lore, which they don't write and they don't even talk about and have very complications about, and I'm fixing it for them. I'm making it better, at least in my opinion. They could have a lore where we have a society in the civilization band that grudgingly has to use Originium tech because they don't have any other elements to use. The original industrial base of the original environments aren't conducive to the standard technologies of former Terra. Like, we can't use them properly. So we had to use them. And you could make this an anger or dissatisfaction, but like a grudging, oh, we have to do it. And that could even lead into the Landbreakers having their complications. But unfortunately, No. It's just Originium's good now. By the way, we're the pharmaceutical company that didn't cure it, but we did make a full suppressant. Just pay us for the rest of your life. Could you imagine that? That's like a pharmaceutical company's wet dream. Why is that not even mentioned? Why is it hand waved? The law in regards to Originium is awful. It's awful, it's awful, it's awful. And it doesn't even need to be that Originium's complicated. They just need to give me something more than a hand wave. They need to give me more than a, don't worry, we pay Originium, good, yep, does good shit. By the way, just breathe it in. Then you just go to the doctor, it's $10, suppressant, it's done. What happens when society collapses? What happens in like those wars you mentioned? What happens when logistics fall apart? What happens to the people with oripathy when the fucking, like, there's fights going on and they can't get their fucking medicine? What happens to if the production facility is hit by terrorism? What happens if the production facility falls apart? What is going on here? Why are we trusting a government to have all of the power? Like, because let's think of it. We have an entire society here so in depth with Originium that every single person has suppressants. They all have oripathy. They all have this disease. And who holds the reins? Apparently Endfield, or perhaps the government. I'm not exactly sure on that law. But if it's Endfield or if it's a government, they literally have their entire population by the balls. No one's worried about this? Are they not considering the fact that their entire society is held together by the government being willing to give them fucking medicine? Because tell you right now, a real fucking government and real people up in charge in governments would 100% limit those kind of disease-saving medication to groups of people that they didn't like, people they didn't agree with, people that were in their opinion bad for society. There is so much that could go wrong and no one addresses it. It's just clean slate hand waving. Everyone's happy. Originium's good. Trust Originium. Try it today. Crunchy goodness. There's even fucking scenes in the first chapter where they're just going to go, Originium's so beautiful. Wow, it's so gorgeous. I remember the first game where if I saw a bunch of fucking Originium crystals, everyone starts freaking out and going, we're all gonna fucking die. And they were usually right. Now, okay, yes, there is the next part, Saito, that you mentioned. Very good point. Are they playing the long game? Which, again, comes back into the bad guy, good guy lacking, and the law failure. Because in Arknights 1, there are characters who are obsessive about Originium, wanting Originium to be involved in everything. And there are suggestions, some of them low, some of them high, that the characters specifically, you know what, I'll bring her up. Since we're talking about it, we need to get to it. Perlica. Okay, let me just take the chart off so you can have a little look at her there. So, yes, Perlica. Very cute, very nice. She was running the industry for, before you came along. She knows you from the past. She has suggestions that we don't know how we knew her, but it's very clear we were very close. And whatever relationship we had was probably one of very close colleagues, someone she trusted, and she's very worried for us. Probably doesn't like the fact that we're constantly called upon via magic to, and I'll get into the Endfield main character as well, but we're constantly called upon to save the world, but we're losing something in return for it. So this is her. She is also the character that is most consistent whenever Originium comes up of saying, don't worry about Originium, it's okay. It's solved now. Don't question it. Just take your suppressant. $10. My brand is Enfield. I love Originium. I put Originium over my cereal in the morning. It's so beautiful, Endmin. Isn't the Originium great? Isn't Originium good? We should put Originium in toys. We should give Originium to kindergartners. They should play with a little bit. Just have a bit of fun. Okay, I'm getting over the top again. Oh, okay. So, a fan theory started coming up for her. The fan theory specifically goes into the idea that Persica is a villain And the reason they do this is because everything's too perfect. There's only good guys, only bad guys. The main story is so much focused on how you're the perfect, and Originium is hand-waved. The natural position they came to, especially with the law being so strange, was, is Originium really good? Or are we in a society that has been co-opted by a cult? For example, a true religious cult might have infiltrated the society so long ago and slowly developed it into this point. We could even have it that perhaps she knows about this. Maybe she is part of that cult, or she is accepting and like a willing participant in Originium, a cultery. And that's why a lot of people make memes about her being like, don't worry, those sacrifices that we are willing to make. Because like I've seen memes about her being like, the admin going, her saying, oh, we give suppressants to everyone, don't worry. And then the admin goes, what about people in rural areas, like when there's cut off? And she's like, those are sacrifices we're willing to make. And there's like, what? Like there's a lot going on here where people actually want her to be more interesting, and then making fake lore in their heads that she's actually a villain. And honestly, I get it. But here's the problem. I've heard people talk, and I've talked to them, where they tell me, yeah, she's a villain. She's 100% a villain. There's no way Originium would be accepted like this. There's no way this society could develop like this. It is very clear that Persicaries are like a leader, or at least complicit in like a very clear conspiracy. That she's a villain. And I tell you this right now, I don't think so. They have established so much the good guy that unless they are playing the longest of long games and are prepared to sacrifice all the character development and all of the development of their societies as being good, and the people we meet in those societies and the characters we are interacting with, unless they're prepared to sacrifice everything for the twist reveal that Originium is bad, and we knew it all along, and we're in like some sort of cult-like situation, or maybe our memories were specifically taken away for this purpose or whatever. Unless, I don't think they're going to do that. They've built her up as too much of a waifu. You know, you might say, oh, but she has mystery because she's like worried, and she's hiding maybe her past from the ad. She's hiding that she's like in love with the Endmin and she doesn't want him to die. She's hiding that she's worried about them. She's hiding that that there is problems that she's had to deal with alone for so long. And there's probably other elements of the story, but similar to what I was saying about who the big bad is, it feels like it's just going to be an uninteresting element. Like, oh, who's the big bad? He's just a bigger, eviler bad. Yeah, sure, go ahead. There you go. Oh, he's just a big angry guy who found the rock. Oh, what's her thing? Her big secret is she really cares about you, and it was really tough when you were gone, and she had to do some maybe she had to do some difficult things, like, I don't know, make children eat fucking Originium. Like, it's very much a character who is suffering from the law and the world around her being so uninteresting that people are grasping at straws to make her interesting. Yes, they want her to be interesting. I have an alert that my coffee is cold because I have not been drinking enough, because I've been constantly talking about this game. So yes, she is a big thing, but I don't think she's going to be the true savior you want her to be. I would love her to be the true savior of the game and to have her turn around and make Arknights very interesting. And if I'm wrong, thank God. Thank God. Because this main story, this good guy, bad guys, this lore, this absolute like mess. Because remember, there are mysteries in this. The mystery of her, the mystery of the main administrator, the mystery of the bad guys. But those mysteries are couched in such an uninteresting lore, where it doesn't even give you a room to maneuver. The lore doesn't have any cracks in it where I could go, ooh, what happens if this is a thing? Ooh, I don't have a moment like that. I can't comprehend something like that because we're all good and the lore is all fucking uninteresting. And the good guys are just perfect good guys, the bad guys are perfect bad guys, and they haven't got any foreshadowing for that being wrong or problematic. For example, if they wanted the good guys to be evil, maybe they would do a little bit more. They would do a little bit more. Maybe they would lay it on a bit thicker. Maybe they would there would be suggestions. I'm telling you right now, there'd be suggestions of something. Maybe I'm wrong. but I feel like I don't feel like they can like pull off such a massive twist reveal that would ultimately invalidate their entire society. Because imagine that, you are the Endmin, you get to a point in the story, it's revealed that Originium was never supposed to be the main tech. It was something that was to be sealed away. It was never meant to be sealed onto the planet. We had a whole plan of what to do to escape Originium, but unfortunately people infiltrated the government. How would we deal with that? How would we approach it? It's very interesting, but I don't think they have the balls to pull that off. Finished GFL 2 event camp. Campy. Okay. Still shit in comparison to the prior 4 events. All in all, normal Mika draft board activities. Dartboard activities. Oh, that's another one we need to talk about. I know you might look at me right now, viewer, whoever you may be, and you might wonder, how the fuck does someone get this deep into talking about gacha games? But this is what happens when your entire life revolves around YouTube. Maybe if I win, you know, like fucking a lotto, I'll go and live in the woods and never touch a fucking computer in my life again. But maybe. That's future me. So yes, she is not the savior you want her to be, although I want her to be. But I think this is a good moment to talk about the other characters that are important. Endmin! She has a voice. You probably noticed that. She has a cute voice. And as I mentioned before, and remember I put this in as foreshadowing, she has a great main character when she wants to be. She talks about her in the event, the event with the redhead girl. She talks about her worries. She talks about her difficulties in regards to about having no memories, about having thrust into a situation, whether or not she's worthy of this. You know, mild stuff. It's not the big, it's not breaking the world type shit, but it's quite good. It's good. Like we're discussing elements of her, and then she connects with another person who doesn't have their memories and is looking for their memories, and they make something together. And their story is wonderful. It's nice, and it gets 8.5 out of 10. It is a wonderful, good event. Outside of that one event, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know what the Endmin is like? Nothing. The Endmin is every other gacha protagonist, for the most part, that you can imagine. They are a flat board where their options is A and B. A and B mean the same thing. The answer you get back is the same as A and B. There's the same as if you'd picked A or B. There is occasional moments where they try and add in a little bit of silliness. Like, oh, who do I blame? Myself? The other girl, like there's occasional moments that can be used as fun little character moments, but they are few and far between. She has nothing. She barely talks. Now, talking isn't necessary for an interesting character, but comparatively, she is similar in the base main game. She's comparatively similar to the Star Rail main character Stelle, or Calidus, or whatever. But where Star Rail and main character is benefits, is Star Rail's main character is significantly sillier. Their character is built around being silly, being wild, being whimsical. That's their big kind of character trait that they kind of build her off. Because while Star Rail's character is a blank-faced no-talker, for the most part, there are moments, generally they build her off the comedy, and they build her off being like, you know, and then it actually makes quite an engaging, realistic bond between her and the other members of the train that she's on. But here, the Endmin is much flatter. And and mostly has no real protagonist energy or development. It's more and here's the other thing. Everyone's actions and reactions to her. Unlike in other gacha games where the normal people will just be like, oh, who are you? Or something, or maybe over time they develop an understanding of who you are as you progress through the story. And like the main characters, like the gacha characters, are obviously going to like you. Here, every single NPC would get on their knees and begin servicing you immediately. You are beloved. You are beloved beyond belief, but your personality is hidden in event stories? It'd be one thing if there was no personality at all, but I'm almost more upset and more annoyed that they put effort into the actual story for the events and none of it into the actual development of the character herself. Like in the normal quests. That's where I want to see her. I want to be... Okay, there is a logic in a blank character. There is a logic in a character that develops. Oh, what are you guys talking about? I'll have a look in a second. It's the only privilege stream you make your viewers watch you yap. When you're passionate about something, it's the only solution. In a sense, you can pull it off by the community at large, being right with the accessibility, watch story, and into blandness, you got burned, and then go, fuck, yeah, we can fix it, yeah. You don't want your characters need to speak a lot to be interesting, lightly touch photo or frame of AK-15. Yes, you are correct. You are very correct. You don't need a lot of complication. Now, I think, but she's, in the main story, she's very, very uninteresting. Very uninteresting. Let me show you a way we could make her interesting, just by a little bit. 1, more lines, more introspection, and some quests dealing with that introspection. That would just keep her in the same personality you want her to have, but nothing complicated, but she'd have a bit more to it. Maybe have like an arc or like a part where she's going through where she's not comfortable. And maybe because like she confides in the red girl in this event quest that you could entirely dodge if you were not paying attention, where she's confiding about she's not very confident that she's the person they want her to be. Although they don't go too deep on it, they could have gone deeper on it. And they don't even need to do much, really. Another thing they could have done is similar to Star Rail. Star Rail made the main character silly. You could make her silly, but she's not silly enough. She's got a mild bit of silly, but not a lot of silly. She's not very silly, not very interesting. She's just too cool. And also, here's the thing. Everyone's telling us how cool she is, but we really haven't seen that. They tell her how great and smart she is, but we haven't really seen that. They're not showing us enough. There is a bit, and then through the quest we do get it, but it's not enough. So she's very plain and uninteresting. She's flat white bread with some cheese on it. The cheese being from the event and some mild history elements, which are quite interesting, I'll admit. Because her lore, again, is very interesting lore, poorly applied, poorly applied, and also with the other elements that I've talked to death about gacha rates and the story and the main good and bad story, again, falls flat. So she is the administrator. She's not the doctor. I am almost 80% sure she's not like the doctor. She just, for some reason, dresses exactly like the Doctor. Don't worry about it. Because the Doctor is dead. And we'll get into the Arknights 1 connection, because I believe there's something to be talked about there. But the Endmin is basically someone born on this planet, gained some abilities with Originium, which are crazy, very useful, and for whatever purpose and whatever technology and whatever development they went through in their own story and the history that we don't know currently, they became some sort of symbol where they would do a whole bunch of good stuff, go to sleep in that big rock of Originium, come out, solve things, do technology, make progress for society, then go back to bed. Wake up again. What's that? A civil war? I'm here to solve it. What's that? Another war with the aliens? Here to solve it. And then go back to bed. So essentially, they're kind of like Jesus. They just keep waking her up and going back to bed. Wake up, Jesus. We've got a problem. Come solve it for us. Which is a very interesting idea. Let's be honest here. The idea of a main character or a concept of a character where they're just very powerful and they're awoken and then brought into like the world whenever they're needed. And they've also implied that there's some sort of loss or some sort of difficulty. Like they said that there is some suggestion that the core originium of the planet is weakening or whatever, which thank God I want that cancer all gone. But which would be fun as a storyline. What if we just get rid of it? But there is some elements there that she's getting, but they talk about what she's losing and they say how she gave up everything, but I don't see what she gave up. Are they trying to tell me she just gave up her memories, or is there more to it? I don't see the issue. For example, if they had told me she gave up like something even more important, something that was even beyond herself. For example, let's say she had friends or family that she had to sacrifice in pursuit of a goal. And instead of just being like this perfect Jesus Christ kind of character, she could have some sort of like trudging through glass kind of story we could flash back to as we go through. There's an interesting idea. We don't even need to change the idea of us being pure good and them being pure evil. What if we're pure good, but we sacrifice constantly to keep it here? That would be one way to switch up a lot of things. The main character constantly talks about in this, like, I'll never give up stuff. And like, but what if we twist that around as she develops her memories and realizes she might say she'll never give up anything, but she's sacrificed so much, not only herself, parts of herself, parts of her emotions, maybe parts of the person she used to be, maybe parts of her family, her friends. She made choices where people had to die. We could do things with that. But here again is, I think, where we went, where they didn't do that. That would be too close to the Doctor. The Doctor in Arknights 1 was a complicated character with complicated lore. That said, still a blank face. And they never got into the lore that I could get into or found out too much about. But essentially, they had an interesting backstory that they at least dangled as a, ooh, what was he like back then? Ooh, was he a villain? Was he a bit more of a brutal character? What will he do when his memories come back? If his memories come back and he's a bad guy back then, and how is he going to square that away with the person he is now? Like, ooh, and like there was something there. There was a lot there. And even if it didn't get developed in the way that I wanted, it was something that really interested me and was part of the reason I played the game. But this Endmin hasn't got much. They're just a pure good character. They're a pure good character, and that's it. Once again, falling into the trope of good, evil, no complication. Mystery is there, but the mystery basically boils down to how goodera were you back then? Were you the goodest good boy that ever gooded? Did you give up all the goodiness to be good? That's the kind of shit that I'm looking at. I'm not seeing any other complication, which is the negative. I haven't been listening enough, but it seems like it's a good standalone game, but only became disappointing because of the connection to Arknights 1. That's a big possibility. I don't think the connection to Arknights 1 necessarily had to be a bad thing. But I think there was wires crossed over at the Arknights headquarters. There was disagreements in how they developed the characters and where they wanted to go, how they wanted to develop the lore, and we've got this Frankenstein's perfect puppy that is just someone's baby. Similar to Girls Frontline 2, maybe. It feels a little bit like I'm reading fan fiction of an ideal world. Like someone wrote fan fiction of their ideal outcome, and this is it. So the Endmin lacks interest. They're very much a flat character that has sparkles of good moments that are ultimately hidden and beneath so much. And I don't know why they hide it. I feel like it's such a negative thing to do. It's just a copy. They're just trying to copy their old Doctor while also not be the Doctor's interesting lore. They're trying to have it be like just a pure good lore once more, washing the entire thing of any complication and any fucking interest. And we come to where we are now. So, having gone through all of that, is there anything else I've got left to say? Let me think. Oh yes, there is one thing I just want to mention slightly. The villains aren't just one group. There's also the aliens on the planet, but the aliens are just like, well, they're not aliens, we're aliens. The native monsters of the planet, they're potentially a defense mechanism of the planet reacting to originium. They're potentially just the native creatures of the planet being like, what the fuck is going on with this? And also the blight technology and the blight element is very much inclined with them, but they are so uninteresting. Visually uninteresting as all hell. The originium villain, the originium like monsters are still here, like from the first game. They didn't just like, oh yeah, by the way, we still got monsters that are made from originium. They still kill people occasionally. Yeah, we cultivated across the planet like that. We didn't cultivate it in farms to make sure that none of the creatures would get out. No, we just let it go wild and free because originium should be free. It's a game with potential. A lot of potential. And as I've discussed, I have a lot of thoughts about how it could be improved. And I think that's what I see a lot on social media. And wrapping up... What? Fuck you! What are you talking about, inactivity? Yeah, fuck you. How dare you? This wasn't inactivity. I was just fuck you. Oh, just fuck you. How dare you? How dare you? I was in the middle of my lecture. This is like the projector turning off in front of the student body. I'm embarrassing myself. Fuck you, get in. There we go. Fuck you, game. So anyway, I think there are other elements I think I wanted to talk about in depth. I wanted to discuss how like the NPCs are not particularly well established. The side stories I've touched on are all quite dull. uninteresting in a lot of cases. I wanted to touch on how it's missing a lot. It's missing a lot of elements with that. One thing with the road. Oh, yes, there's the last thing I want to talk about. Yes, I remember now. Yvonne. And I think Yvonne, you probably know of her. She's the one who has the massive ass that everyone's focused on. In fact, can I get a mass picture of her ass? Let's get a picture of her ass. I'm sure they won't mind. Let me just give me a second, guys. I'll just get some picture of ass. Yvonne Arknights. Let me pull up some ass for you guys. You know, just a little bass. Just a bit. It's very important. Okay. Yep. Wait, that's not her name. No, it's Yvonne. Yvonne? What the fuck? Okay, why are they not showing off her ass in any of these pictures? I need to show off one of her pictures of her ass, damn it. Ah, fuck it. Fuck it, we'll just grab this picture. Alright, I will show you Yvonne, because I want to talk about her. Because there's an element I heard about her, which I think is a good example of how the game is kind of fucked. In terms of its story, of course. Yov there. And go here. And rather than the chart, let's replace the chart. Okay, no, oopsie, wrong button. I'll go over to the chart. And I will make another picture. Okay, image. Give me just a second, I'm an idiot. Okay. This girl. Alright. This one here. Yvonne. So, Yvonne is a scientist in the game, and you meet her during the course of the quest. She gets along with you, and you work together to take down the big monster, the big portal rift of ether in the first area. And she is very instrumental in building a robot that helps you out throughout the story. Now, the reason I'm bringing her up is because, one, very hot. Probably one of the best examples of attractive characters they have outside of maybe the Red Girl. Definitely of the newer characters that aren't from the old game, I would say hottest character. But what they bring up is that in the first edition of the game when they were in beta testing, her story was that she didn't agree that the little robot that you bring along who does all the work for you, and eventually, spoiler alerts for the first bit, dies. She was of the opinion it didn't have emotions. She was like, oh, it doesn't have emotions, it's a machine. That's silly. Like, now, I don't know how they characterized it, but apparently people really didn't like the robot not being... They basically didn't like that she was dismissing the personality of the robot. And you might think, oh, that's true, the robot's fine. But here's the problem. They listened to that feedback, and rather than make her story... And maybe this was how they were aiming for it initially, and they just got scared off by this because we got fan feedback. Rather than make her story, oh, I'm like a active Genki engineer girl scientist, and I don't believe she's got real emotions, but over time and interacting comes to see her robot as having emotions and comes to accept that position. Basically, an emotional arc. I think they call that storytelling. But instead, of course, she needed to be pure good. They couldn't have any marks on her personality that could be interpreted as negative, so naturally, they made it that the character was perfectly okay with the robot initially. There was never a problem, everything was good, and no arguments, no discussions about the personality of the robot, no discussion about sentience, there was nothing at all like that. It was just the robot she made is perfect, and she totally loves it. And while they do give her an emotional send-off for the robot, a bit of it at least, they avoid the controversy like the plague. They avoid the complication like the plague. Yvonne having an initial problem with the idea of calling her robot sentient could have come from a lot of different places. Maybe if you want to have more, you don't have to have it like her battle droids killed her parents and she can't accept battle droid emotion. No, it could have been she's just so deep in the weeds that she's like, well, it's just an emulator. I don't know, man. Like and then as time goes by, she's like, what's the line between a self-evolving emulator and a real emotional response? So she could have developed a story and an arc in relation to the robot Tata. But instead, she's immediately like, you're so cute. I love you. What a great name. Everything's good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's perfect. There is no problem. And I think that sits at the core of the problem with the lore and the story. There's no real problems. There's just an enemy to fight of ontological evil. And while I'm not that dude who's like, Lord of the Rings would have been better if the orcs were like more complicated. No, there's a time and place for ontological evils. And Lord of the Rings had its fair share of complications and interesting elements, like, you know, various countries falling to Mordor or having their own positions. And there was a lot of difficulty and interest. But in this case, it doesn't work. And I think that's because, one, the main group is just perfectly fine. You can tell me all about how great and strong everyone is. That's not really helping. And it kind of makes the Landbreakers and Nephilim, or whatever her name was, feel like a weak character. Like she doesn't have anything, you know? I don't feel like she has any kind of difficulty to face in this world because of things like that. And that is where we get into the core of this. Arknights Endfield doesn't... Okay. Arknights Endfield is scared of moral relativity, grayness, complication. It is terrified, and it just wants to be good and bad and leave it at that. And I think it's to its detriment. That is probably one of the biggest failings of Endfield right now. Its biggest failing, and something that definitely needs to be improved. Because if the factory game hadn't been here, if this had been a more traditional gacha game, I would have quit by now. I would have left. And that's not me trying to threaten them to make the game better. I'm not a fucking one of those weirdos on Twitter who's like, make the game more like Wuthering Waves or Genshin, damn it. No, just make a good story. I don't need you to copy Arknights, and I don't need you to be so afraid of copying Arknights that you don't add anything at all and make this fucking white bread with cheese. You just need to realize that there are problems here and change them. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of these problems are very deep. Like Genshin had an okay opening for what it was doing. Star Rail, again, okay opening. But fundamentally, while these openings weren't perfect and their stories and narratives weren't exactly ideal for what I wanted, what they definitely did have was suitable lore, suitable world building that added complication. It told me something to expectations to go forward. And in this case, they don't have that at all. I think it's because it's connected to Arknights. I disagree. I think you could still make a good Arknights game. I think you could make a good second Arknights game. And here's another reason that that it comes into it. The Rhodes Island girls, the girls from Arknights 1, they are magically transported here because this is hundreds of years after that. All of the Rhodes Island girls are dead. And you know why they added them in? They added in the Rhodes Island girls into this one as copies of their memories and characters from the time period of the games of Arknights 1 because fans got sad. Basically, fans came in wanting to play Arknights 1. Wanting to play Arknights 2, like, yay, yay, yay. And this is just... And Saita, this is definitely something for you to consider. Just like Girls Frontline 2, they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean this is set 150 years on a different planet, later on a different planet? There's no doctor? Wait, there's no Rhodes Island? Wait a minute. You mind my wife who's not here? Wait, are you implying my wife who, like, grew old and had kids that weren't with me and I could hear about? Oh, no. So, of course, set it on another planet. Okay, look, you don't get to know who gets with who. You don't get to see any of that. You're all safe from it. It can be in its own world, in your own imagination. It is cat box. It is within the cat box. It is both alive and dead. This wasn't enough, because this is a Arknights game. They wanted the old characters. And unfortunately, that is the harsh reality of making a sequel gacha game. They want the players and the whales who have been built up, who have lived off this for a long time, want their old characters. They want the comfortable. And some of the devs do as well. And they clearly have passion for it, because that red girl whose event is so good, she's an old Arknights character. That's the only one that had a good storytelling, because maybe that's the only one they had passion about, because the arguments about what to put in the main quest were so brutal that people started to lose passion for it. The Arknights girls appear in this world through a mechanism of just kind of bullshit. Basically, some sort of weird magical logic that essentially is a hand wave of Originium recreating people's memories and recreating the individuals who just kind of pass into a new reality. So basically, and they give them different character names. So now we have a situation where you can have your wife on Arknights 1, and you could also now have your wife on Arknights 2, but she's a different character, and you're both of the main characters, so you're not being cucked either way. And that's, I understand why they did that, because that's an unavoidable thing, but it is a bit much, and does kind of prove that there were difficulties in how they approach things. You know, just how they had to change Yvonne's quest, they had to add in Arknights 1 characters, and just like they had to probably change a lot of elements around to make it fit. They did it, all these things. So what is Arknights 2 if not a story-wise and lore-wise a bit of a mess? It has if we really strip away all the negatives and all the lore and stuff, it has a middling gacha story with some rather uninteresting elements. But with the other elements and the Arknights stuff, it is even impressively bad, especially in regards to lore. And so I bring to the close, and I'll get rid of our girl off the screen there, just give me a moment. So we bring to close our little lecture. I can firmly say that Arknights was a very interesting chapter 1, and lore, and development. Very interesting in a bad way, in an intellectual way. That there was a lot of problems that definitely needed to be discussed, and we did discuss them. Will they develop over them? I don't think so. I think at this point there is a lot of ingrained elements to this that I can't see them beating. I don't see that they can overcome the Originium lore. I don't see them beating out the Landbreakers. Maybe they'll start putting in 2-hour react session new record, I think. Well, yep. I try. Thanks for sticking around. If you stuck around and you're a viewer and you're somehow still here, drop a thumbs up in the chat. Come on, guys. Drop a thumbs up. Claps for the lecture. But seriously, thank you for hanging out for this lecture. I think that going forward, we'll have to watch how it goes. How will the story develop? Will they try and make a course correction? And even though that'll be a rough course correction, I think it'll be a very rough course correction, similar to how Weathering Waves had to make a big course correction itself in chapter 2 onwards, and they did do it for their benefit. But I'd say that I'm going to say even more than Wuwa, Weathering Waves has a fractured core foundation. Endfield has a fractured foundation. Weathering Waves has a fractured foundation, but most certainly this has a more fractured element. But I'm more angry at Weathering Waves because elements of Weathering Waves were just much more infuriating compared to Arknights. Intellectually, I think the discussion of why it was bad was more interesting here than it is in Weathering Waves, where I think Weathering Waves really just comes down to just like the usual bad writing approaches of like lore drop and pacing. Because lore drop and pacing, and this was great. No problems whatsoever. But yes, thank you for listening. Class will be dismissed from here. We're just going to play the game now. I know, hour 2, playing the game. I'll play the game for a little bit, enjoy myself, and we'll see what this new quest area can take, because I know this is the best area of the game, so we'll be seeing about that. Will I do more gacha games like this in the future? 100%. Will I come back to doing this for Zenless Zone Zero Season 2, or for coming back for this in the future, maybe? 100%, 100%. But I will say, the gacha has to keep me interested. I mean, sorry, the gameplay has to keep me interested at this point. If the gameplay stops being interesting for me, the story can't hold me. Story cannot hold me. I cannot be held by Pericola fucking memes online of her being like, Originium is the greatest. Chomp some for breakfast, children. All right, but thank you. I will now remove the charts. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? We are now ready to play the game. True VTuber hours, I tell you what. I tell you what. There's a boat. I'm going on a bamboo boat. So this is the state-mandated China area that every gacha has. Oh, okay. Let's have a look here. It's got a little floating dagger on his leg. Oh, you can't read it? Oh, no, I actually, that's Japanese. No, it's Chinese, actually. Because there's no hiragana. Wait, no, isn't that? No, it's gotta be Chinese. Wait, that's, huh? I know they've got copies of each other. Plus 1,000 social credit score. That's Chinese. Ah, yeah. It's because I think of Japanese all the time. Oh, hello, sir. You got like little horns? Well, young twink, I don't know either, but we'll try it together. Well, she's a... Whoa, you being suspicious, Chad? He's just a traveler. The fuck's wrong with you? How Goonfield so far? Zone? Go back to the start. Do not ask how a Goonfield has been so far, because I just spent 2 hours talking about exactly that question. It is not an easy answer. The answer is story bad, gameplay good. What is in Yerishe? That sounds like Russian. Okay, so they got like a little, like, get some lore drops for a snow place. That sounds nice. Ah, gotta love gacha characters' outfits. They're so silly. Ooh, what's zooming in his eyes like that? Why are you staring at me? Are you into me? Are you gonna ask me on a date? That'd be kind of nice. I'd be interested. Did he kill them? Did he eat them? Very gacha game like protagonist. Can you imagine being at the bus stop and a guy starts talking like this? You're like, so the bus will come in like 12 minutes, yeah? Yep, we're gonna go there and we're gonna kick some ass. I hope the technology, because that's another cool thing. I like it when like environments look different, so I hope the technology for this place is very different looking. There's no, what's wrong? Yeah, it seems like a friendly guy. Come on in. Someone just starts venting their life story at the bus stop regular Tuesday. Yeah, true. You know, I once saw a like the only drug addict I ever saw in Japan while I was living there. I saw him at a bus stop. He was a nice guy in that he didn't attack me and try and eat my face. But he did, like, notice me and then start kind of, like, mumbling and talking, like, at length to the ground while, like you know, kind of, like, shifting about, and eventually fell off his chair. He wasn't drunk. I can tell drunk between... you can tell drunk between long-term addict. Let me guess. His name is some femboy name. Oh my god, Tabibito! You know what? I kind of like this guy. He just wants to travel and see the world. You know what? If it's Endfield had been me traveling the world, I'd be into it. I'd eat him. You'd eat anything. I'm not against random man being involved here. What happens if there's like a... Okay. Let's go. Can I talk to him? What if I jump in the water? I can't. Damn it. Is that... Sarugan. So I'm not up... I'm not up to date on my my lore. But that's the references to Arknight ones. I guess like he used to live in a... But like, see, here's the problem. Interesting that he's from there, and they kind of imply like, oh, it's a bit nervous, this guy's from this thing, but like... But here's the thing, like, they've already established that everyone loves everyone in this world. So it's like, you gonna have more? Did we import the issues from the old world or not? He seems like a nice enough bloke. Traveling around, it seems like a fun guy, fun thing to do. Is there something you want to see? Yeah, just ask him about his trip. Yeah, buddy, what are you gonna do? Ah, the people you meet at a bus stop. Okay, Perk, are you being racist right now? Let me hang out with the bus stop crackhead. They're trying to add his... He seems like a nice enough guy. What the fuck's wrong with you, fluffy ears? Stop being mean to him. I don't feel bad at all. Hey man, I've seen a lot of... Yeah, it's fine. I mean, then again, maybe, you know, 3 young women, this random man, they got a little nervous. I understand. It's an understandable position to take. What is his intentions? Okay, wow, Chen, discrimination. Wow, just judging a book by his cover. But if I judge him by his cover, he just looks like a polite young man. I don't know what's wrong with you. No, I'm not going to do a background check on a man I met at the bus stop. What the fuck is wrong with you, Endmin? Well, I'm going to ask, well, what do you suggest? Is there some sort of problem? What did you notice? You Googled him? You guys suck. So, what? Because he's not in your globalized fucking Google positioning system and you know all people in the world, you're like, I don't trust him. He's not in the system. Just fuck this. What the fuck's wrong with you? Wow, you just suspect people because we're going on the same bus? You would be a riot fucking on a train, wouldn't you? You just shoot the whole thing up. Is it gonna be really awkward if we walk along the same road and we meet him again? What's wrong with meeting him? What the fuck is... Why are you girls so upset? No other way. Why are you making this... What's wrong with it? I know you're trying to make him look sus, but he doesn't look... I don't care. If we... he's not in the mass surveillance system. I can't control him. We can't trust him. He might tell us about the fact that... Oh, God. What happens if he starts mentioning bad things about Originium? Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. Ooh. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Bonk, 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 bonk. What are you just staring at that for? You want to go back to the river like a true lizard girl? What's this? When I was studying the main campus, I pictured Wula and Crucial size. All steel glass and cutting edge. Never expected natural scenery to be so beautiful. Yeah. Every major development has a special here willing strength its materials technology was in it. The flagship could grove holds something different. Time for me to dig deeper. Well, it's just a little thing. Can I cut this down and get like stuff from it? Nope. I was thinking I could cut it down. Very beautiful. Nope, still can't get me. Goddamn! I wanted to cut it all down. Damn. Oh. What the fuck? Ah! 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 What the hell? The trees were moving. Trust is all for the Iridium. Yeah, everything to do is support the Iridium agenda. We must support the Iridium agenda, everyone. Iridium is good. Everything returns back to Iridium. Give your babies to Iridium. Babies are probably fucking like put like in a water just like with Iridium rocks in this world to bless them. What the? Oh. Why does she sound kind of scared? That sounds cute. Ooh. What? What's over here? Oh, what's this? There's a blue thing. What are these? Little slugs? Oh shit, it's a template? Okay, it's a different type of gear. Can I kill these things? No, I cannot. They are immune to death. Alright, well there's that one. The trees are in the way. Let's go over here. Even the bamboo has jiggle physics. I would say that jiggle physics wise, this game is on the lower end. But I do like it's gorgeous. Gorgeous area. I got more random shit. Yeah, I like it. Like, look at this smoke. I mean, smoke. The fog. Oh, they're all moving away. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. I like it. Okay, stop being so fucking sus, you goddamn Iridium cultist. Or I hope so. Okay, so some stuff. I don't care. I'm here for the main quest, not like the side fucking dude. Did you get lost too? Well, I would suggest cutting down everything. Sure, tag along. Of course not. You were the nicest man at the bus stop. A little bit oversharing, but I don't hate you. These bitches, on the other hand, they would fucking have you thrown in fucking in the gulag for suspicion of Iridium hate crimes. At the edge of Iridium, there is more Iridium. Yeah, it's probably a puzzle. It's probably a puzzle with these things. Yeah, but look how gorgeous. Look at this. This game is gorgeous all of a sudden. You can see where they put all of the fucking effort into this area. The first area is just like, alright, but good. Oh, he's run away. No! Now, if you two bitches start talking about him behind his back like true women, I'm gonna be very upset. Whee. Oh, it's the monster. Fucking, what do you mean dangerous? It's a fucking cliff. I fought a ripped monster. Hello, little dog. Huh? Oh, okay, so they're aware of the difficulties of their own technology. I'm eating your PC detector. No! There's no Originium there. No! No! Oh yes, I need my Originium headsets. Pure cancer directly into my ears. Mmm. Good lord, this is beautiful. Visually, I would put another fucking upgrade to the visuals at this point. That is gorgeous. That is fucking gorgeous. Like, visuals aren't never go- Ah! I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to test it out. I'm gonna have to say something to you, Shed. Something to you, Pergola. I hate Originium! Ah! Originium, yeah, basically. Originium, uranium, you're not off you're not too far off. Oh, okay, cool guy. Oh. Yeah, what a wonderful... Like, I don't know why they hate this guy. Like, he's just a nice gentleman. Oh, I'm suspicious. He's got white hair and he's not in the global database. Oh no! Guys, he doesn't have a digital ID! Well, at least the people here were smart, like, put some, like, little things in here to help out people getting lost. I really like the fucking environment, though. Holy shit, this is gorgeous. I really... I really fucking like this environment. I feel like I'm playing a Souls game. What? Oh, the environment has monsters. Oh, so these aren't so the environment can just have enemies. Not everything has to be like the bug monsters or land breakers. So that's nice. I like the idea of that. It's a bit more, you know, like how did they deal with the environment creatures? Like it was when they came here, obviously there had to be a whole bunch of creatures and things here. Like what happened? What like did they like bring over their own stuff and they mix together, or how did they react to the Originium and stuff? Because Originium, just for reference, is I didn't go too deep into it in my discussion there, but it's well known for actually mutating people. See how we've got like Tail Girl here, like Tail Girl and Fluffy Ear Girls. Originium mutated humans. The original human no longer really exists, or it's just considered a variant of the spread of the human race, because Originium made us all get weird tails and shit. Hey! I get that, actually. I kind of don't want to break it either, because it looks pretty. Well, what are you doing? Oh, where are you going to take me to now? Oh, it's a little cat. Hello, cat. Oh, it's very smoky down there. Hello. I'm back here again. Why do I have two options? Sure. Oh, monsters. Alright, so far I'm enjoying the introduction to this area. Yeah, they probably have TV for like, hey guys, we've got a new ice cream idea. Originium flavor. Your kids will love it. Just put a dollop of originium into their ice cream. Oh, that goes back down there. Oh, it says, oh. Oh. Damn, Bamboo, what the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to eat me? I will cut you down. Oh. Oh. This is nice. I like that they're just environmental monsters. Like, they're not like, oh, it's the monster from the enemy here to destroy the world. It's just like, these are the monsters of the nature. It gives us a little, I like that. Fuck you. So you can see how my team is kind of like, not exactly over leveled. Or like, well, fuck you. Ah, stop that. Hit it. Bonk, bonk. Like, I'm doing it. But it's not like extremely over leveled. Splat. Alright. Well, onwards to the next one. Ah, hello there, Mr. Ardash. I don't have preconceptions of you. Coming out today, your kids' originium eye drops. Originium straight into your eyes have cleared eyesight. Oh my god, let's hear like a testimonial. Originium cured my cancer. Note, it may also, like, you do not listen to your doctor, and we are not held liable for you getting oripathy. Lucky? He's a lucky guy. Yeah, see? What? Well, you trying to suggest to use some sort of unknown evil fucking method? Chen, you goddamn distrustful bitch. Yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going through that place. Chen, why are you so sus on this guy? He's just not in the fucking... He doesn't have a digital ID, and immediately you're like, oh, you're two having a nice life, are you? Calm down, Chen. Yeah, let's get out of here. And like, you know, you don't have to... Yeah, just, well, why wouldn't you? Yeah, exactly. Wow, he doesn't know Endfield. Maybe he's not even from the area. Ah, so maybe he's like from Terra. See, and they'll do the time to walk so I can get all the conversation as well. Upgraded cancer level 6. Hell yeah, my favorite. Wait, why did... What? What the fuck, Chen? I was listening. Are you gonna... I'm gonna wait for him to stop. Immersion mode? Sure. Are you gonna betray... I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to beat her. I'm gonna have to tell Chen stop distrusting this lovely young man we met. Who's got no problems at all. Maybe you shouldn't say that out loud if you're so worried. Chen! And then it comes in front. Oh no, she's fine. Look at her, she's such a silly one. I do like the characters. There are some issues, but the characters are fine. Is he... What's up? Oh. Okay, it's a bit close. What's up, bro? What's up? What is it? Well, yeah, I don't know who you are. You're like the man I met. You're the man I met at the bus stop. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm kind of their boss, CEO and all. Don't tell anyone, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Shoot, Mr. Bus Stop Friend. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. I'm gonna say no. Do I get an option? Do I? Damn it! She's too good. Alright, his introduction, his fucking story, and his element all through this part has been better than any other fucking character introduction, perhaps, aside from the fucking event quest girl. They did improve this plate. Like, what the fuck? But is it going to overcome the inbuilt problems? But no, I still don't hate him. Like, he's a bit weird, a bit sus. But hey, he's a nice guy. Like, I have met worse drug addicts at the bus stop. Do you want my phone number? Like, we can chat later on, like, you know, just chat online, maybe. You know, just come on my Discord, chill out. Maybe you could be my Discord kitten. Well, Discord kitten, yes. Ooh, I like that. Then it is inevitable. You will not forgive us. So, in other words, see, here they're putting in more elements that they should have had in the first one. Her memories are gone. You think what you're doing is right. And because she doesn't remember, she's not going to resist. In other words, what they're doing is probably seen as evil, and he understands why it's seen as evil. Now, put aside all the landbreaker bullshit that I complained about. But in a moment here, we have a story. But it's still layered by those negative elements. So maybe we can pull, like there's something here, but will they be able to pull it out? I'm still unsure. But I do like this guy, and his introduction in this moment was good. If he tries to kill us, though, I'll be upset. Like, just in this one moment. If he just, like, turns around. Chen, why are you back there? Chen, stop being a weirdo. Shit! Ah! Da-da-da. Yeah. Yay! Is it the dude? Oh, it's not. Oh, finally. Why are we running so far? What the fuck? It's her? What? Out of nowhere? What? Okay, that was shocking. Like, legitimately, she's just right fucking here already. Oh? Ah. No, my bus stop buddy. I thought you were just a cool guy. What's he doing? Ooh, trouble in Paris. See, I'm more interested now in the villains. Okay. No. See, we're introducing elements that are interesting. He just fucking teleported her. This guy's great. See, like, we have a moment. We have a moment that's interesting. And, like, they just refuse to give me anything else. I can see that definitely is an improvement here. Okay, we're versing fucking water monsters. Alright, okay. Oh, is that meant to... Look at the fights, though. When you're in these areas, similar to Zen Zone Zero, when they force you to get characters that are fit to the actual area, the combat is a lot more fun because, like, I'm not just fucking immediately... I'm not like slamming my head into a thick wall because of my terrible building choices for characters. Like, no, I'm using her because she's hot, damn it. Yeah, the cult girl was suspicious. Honestly, like, right now, I still don't think it's going to be anything more than just a... Like, the villains are still villains, and maybe they just had a moment in the past, but I still think that they're just going to be villains who are villains. I don't see stuff being complicated. But I am hopeful to be wrong. Ooh, what are you doing, Chin? Oh my god, the water bears are coming. The cutscenes have been alright. I have enjoyed them, I must say. Oh my god! Did that just have a chomping sound effect, or was I fucking insane? Good lord. They clearly didn't... They're not trying to kill them, kind of. Oh, Jin jumps in. Okay. Oh, that's nice. See, like, the little cutscenes? This is awesome. I like it. This is good. What the fuck? Alright, the big water bear. Okay, more like the kraken. I always heard it was called kraken. She gives a little shield. Wow, okay, and fuck your shield. Originium can't save you where you're going. Oh my god, am I gonna get to see wet tights? I mean, what? What? Huh? What? What? Who the fuck is singing? Paying me rent? Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god, cute anime girl. Ooh. Damn. 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 All right. I am interested. I'm interested. You have hooked me with the gentleman villain, who is quite interesting. Way interesting more than the fucking girl who's all like, "Rah, I'm evil," and also the motherfucking this new girl. She's very cute, and I saw her very up close. And are you all right? You know what? Shake head. Not okay. Am I gonna fight her? Look at her little fluffy ears. Oh my god! She knows her? She's a Chunibyo! How mean! Well, of course she's a waifu. She wouldn't be here to hurt us. She's a waifu. You know this bandit! I just want to say random stuff. Okay, so she's a girl playing pretend, but she's cute, so it's okay. The fuck is a stockade? So, basically a bunch of fucking pickpockets? So basically, she's the chief of the local fucking homeless, stealing money, stealing shit. Too thin, you reckon? I mean, they're not perfect, but I think she's cute. We're just having a trip. Oh, she's doing the thing in China. The China thing. Basically doesn't want to say the embarrassing things from her past. Please. I'm liking how they're doing characters now. Of course she does, because she's a silly girl who's playing pretend as... Okay, she probably picks pockets, and she's like, hell yeah. Why, you trying to steal money, steal stuff from us? You know I'm the CEO of literally the biggest, one of the biggest fucking companies in the planet. I could probably... Yeah, sure, I'll play along with silly little girl. However, if you do try to steal my stuff, I will drop a fucking colony on this planet. I will drop a colony right here, and all the pink leaves will burn! I'm sorry. I get a little excited sometimes. I wonder if that's clipping. Technically, there should be a non-clipping. Ooh. What happened to her? Where's our friendly cultist gone? Damn, this place is big. God lord. This is so... Alright, let's talk to you. That's probably true. She used the power of Originium. She's probably praying right now to a block of Originium she found. She seems like, So basically you're friends? So she's basically a thief. She runs a little banditry out here. Now, a little banditry, it happens. Okay, silly little girl, but play along. I'll play along, but if you harm my shareholder profits by any amount, you'll learn the true meaning behind the name Raytheon. Damn straight. I'm gonna show you the power of industrialized warfare if you touch any of my fucking products and or my factory elements. Okay, that's a bit wrong. So, they added in the failing the trials there, but in the Japanese, and I know this is originally in Chinese, but I did like the Japanese better there. She said, she basically didn't include the failing the trials. She basically said, oh, it wasn't me being thrown out, it was more like, don't worry about it. Which is, I think, better, because, like, I know you're telling me that, but, like, yeah, just tease me a little longer, just tickle my balls a bit, you know? Pearly, what a great name. Finding Perlica is our top priority. No, maintaining the Originium agenda is our top priority. Can we? Okay, sure. If she is actually going to try, like, I'm playing along, but if she actually wants money from me, like, let's have a look at the design a little closer. Why is it like this? I want to look at it. This is cute. This is cute. No, I like the tail. I like the tail. You want money? This... Okay, that's not gonna work out, girl. If I am forced to give her anything... What? What are these two retards doing? Oh. Oh, I see. Their response is to go tism. Wow. Oh, that was another thing I kind of wanted to mention. Wouldn't it be more interesting if the fucking fact that I'm literally a Christ-like element that just comes back from life and appears to save the world in all of its important moments make me some sort of god? What happens if you woke up after a long time stuck in like the sleepy thing and there's a problem? The problem is people have turned you into a literal divine entity. And rather than being like a everyone just really loves you, but it's like an actual issue that there are cults and religious forces around you. That would be really interesting. Give that girl some iridium. Yeah. She's so broke. Here you go. I've crushed up this iridium just for you. Snort it all to your enjoyment. So basically, we are just tricking this girl. The music's kind of nice and the designs, I'm enjoying how they're going things. See, like, the storytelling has taken a massive improvement just in this moment compared to the first part. But the lore and the narrative are more important. Honestly, I'm putting it this way. If this had been the opening, it would have been way better. What the fuck are you... Like, if this scene here, this fucking entire part here was the opening, I would have been way happier. That time I got reincarnated into a god of an evil, crazy cult. That would have been fun. But you could have, like, interesting things. Like, imagine having to deal with, like, you need to have things go your way, but you need to, like, deal with, like, the politics of religions and faiths that may fear you, or maybe, like, other faiths see you as, like, an evil god or something like that. There's a lot you could do with that. In other words, this girl is a fucking idiot and we are preying on her idiocy. We're very lucky that the local banditry is run by a cute girl with 0 brain cells. Ass. What? Sorry. What was she talking about? So we just play on her retardation and we win. Peak. That rude mad woman who did my favorite hand kind of like. I feel like more than a bandit, she sounds like she's a team of like silly kids in the mountains. Wise choice, Chief. Why can't I talk to her? As long as you play up her fucking ego and play into what she wants. 10 out of 10. What are you doing? What do you mean? I just put my thumbs up. That's a good point. She had a kiss of the tism. Yeah. Everyone, you know, all the best, the cutest girls all have the best tism bits. Oh, she's got guns? What the fuck, mouths? She's got mouths? Peak. Why is she not fighting? That's annoying. Oh, so these guys are Angelos? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought they were blight monsters. What? Fuck you. Bonk. Get back down. Get down from there. Why are you so tough? What the fuck? Dark Mark. And yeah, look, she has a pair of mouses. That's awesome. Oh. Okay, we have to make sure that she's up and on. Pericles is probably trying to preach to them about Originium. Okay, now quickly just follow my lead and act like a crazy person. Ooh, what happened there? Did she beat him up? Did you do this? She's... Oh? Anarchy? Brother? I would have said something else. Looks like I would have said they're weak. And then I would have been like, flex my muscles. This sounds like a man long suffering. Peleka, you better not say. And if you, Peleka, if you see them not using Originium and you open your goddamn zealot mouth, I'm gonna clock you in the mouth. Oh, I like her expression change. Oh. Always. There you go. It feels like she's a kid who's been playing. He's a long-suffering big brother. Yeah, come on. She just gets bored. She wants to go out and play because she's got no other friends who have the same amount of brain cells as her. Originium life. Originium brings blessings to us through. It's totally not cancerous growth. I love Originium. Originium is my life. Damn straight, I'm gonna become a not terrorist. I'm gonna become a bandit. What happened to your arm? Did you just put a tree that was conveniently shaped like that? That's crazy. We're having fun. Because you weren't there, we could have fun. Okay, let's listen to their conversation. We've got to help out the local, oh yeah, oh, look, oh, glorious Originium. Wait, that's not Originium. Oh, Jesus. Woo. Oh, okay. Damn, still pretty, very pretty good. Can I kill these cats? Yeah. Eh. Damn it, I can't. Alright. All hail Originium. Oh, I didn't get to see her in wet tights. God damn it. I mean, I wasn't worried, but I'll ask. Originium protected me. I was praying to the... Yeah, shut up. Yeah, just a guy at the bus stop. She just had a guy at the bus stop. Don't worry about it. They seem very nice. I'm sure that they explain that maybe killing everyone is some sort of solution. Hey, what would they say if, like, it turns out there's, like, some sort... Like, I would actually enjoy this. That, like, the world we're in is some sort of weird linked world, and, like, we need to actually kill off a significant portion of the living conscious population to, like, get out of some big problem. And their solution is to do that, is to start a giant war. And they're just like, come on, we have to do this. You can't just pretend you can escape this. That'd be fun. Yeah, we're gonna go and probably take on the city, despite the fact that we are, like, the CEOs of every... What? Ah, yeah. I just want to say yeah. Yes, improper but an effective strategy. Do they believe in the grand use of Originium? Have they placed flakes over their children's dinner? Any thoughts? She just wants to talk about Originium. Does Autocidian sound better than Dustmark? See, like, I can ask that and no one even questions it. True enough. At your command. Oh my god, am I gonna commit some terrorism? I mean, stealing? Are we gonna kill the locals? That would be so funny. Well, at least we didn't have to pay any money. Seems reasonable. Oh my god, sounds so reasonable. See, like, look at this. We meet a guy, he's sus of outsiders. The first area we went to, oh my god, please let me deep throat you, Endmin. I'm so into it. Just shut the fuck up, I hate it so much. Sorry. I'm going to make a shrine of you to take... That would be very easy. You put a sock and then a cigarette. You put a sock on a fucking pedestal with a pack of Lucky Strikes. Let's go! I want to commit terrorism. Terrorism. What? I mean, stealing. Are we gonna go steal from the locals? Ooh. Ooh. That's where I get some supplies. Can I put down supplies now? Okay. Let's just put them down now. Why not? I'll be coming back here anyway. Oh, see. Wrong button. Fuck it. Just put it down. I don't have... Oh, what's it? Wrong button. What? I have no power, but it's okay. Then just I don't have to do this when I come back. I have 0. Look at that power ratio. 0. Okay. Oh, whoopsie. Now I need to put down these. Even that one's gonna... Oh, that one's already... No, it's gonna turn into one probably at some point. So, that one there. And I'll put one here. So this is like some of the fun parts of the gameplay. It's like, you might think, why would this be fun? But like, it's a lot of fun. I'll connect these two up for now. There is no facility, but now it's all ready for when I need to come back to it at some point. The sad thing is, I'm gonna ruin this whole area. It's gonna look so insane. I found it weird how a group was so instantly suspicious of the bad gentleman guy just because he didn't have an ID, but it's so trusting of these guys. Like, I understand the girl is silly, but that silly doesn't mean you're good. Okay, in this case, I give it a mild pass because the Chen girl knew her. The Chen girl knows the other girl. Yet, yeah, you are correct with the other one being suspicious. I think, like, you should, like, him being weird could have been come across a little bit different. That said, he was I liked him. He's a very interesting guy and a likable guy. He's a likable character, and he's a villain. But, oh, here we go. What the fuck? There's a giant water wheel? Damn. So what? These guys just live here in the fucking Outlands? That doesn't seem like too much of a problem. I could put a plank of wood across that. She doesn't remember 2 weeks ago because she's only got 1 brain cell. Alright, we gotta jump down there. Oh no, okay, we don't jump off. But look how nice everything looks. See, like, it gives you moments like this. Guy's just having a nap on the ground. He's having a nap. Sleepy time. Hello, sir. Okay, a bunch of fucking amoebas beat you up. We'll handle it. Alright, we'll show how cool we are, but first I want to get this thing because I can teleport. I'll submit these things, why not? I don't actually have any fun. So how much of the area of... Okay. Oh, it's all like struggling. Wow, it keeps the... That's cool. Okay, there's a whole area back here that I've missed out on. Damn. I like it. I like it. I like it. Treasure Grotto. That was where I was before. Okay. Could just be me though. Oh. What's this? I feel like they could have either stayed the bad guy, but the group weren't obviously so suspicious of him, and you could have the player piece together rather than having it shoved in your sight. Yes, you are correct. Like, I do give it a little leeway because everything before this has been so poorly shown, but you are correct in that kind of build-up of the character could have been done better. Like, for example, like, it was a bit weird that they were so sus, and the susness was that he was like, she's not on the thing, which kind of was funny for the other elements, but like, maybe if they were trying to do something, because like the susness, it was a bit like, why immediately was suffer the man at the goddamn bus stop? Like, what's going on here? Alright, let's go beat up some water amoebas. Stop existing. Look how weak I am, how much low damage I do when I'm outside of like a preset thing, because I haven't built my characters towards perfect damage. Oh, that's right, I was gonna roll, wasn't I? I should have rolled for my anime girls before. I don't know what I'm talking about. Are we? What the fuck am I thinking about? Yeah, damn straight, I didn't see any Lamprey. Maybe they've actually decided to put in some fucking effort? It felt like fabricated suspicion in the start because he's right after meeting the guy that googled him and said, my lord and savior Originium doesn't have an ID. Yes. Like, it was very clearly built up specifically. They just wanted him to be suspicious to kind of like add elements of susness to it.
ダージャンは休ませた。橋は俺様が直してやる。私たちも手伝うわ。あっちに水入れたら橋動くんだったか。湖の水でもいけんのか。これ製鉄のボトルだ。水。
Oh shit! I got a new ability to. I have to go get water from the park. What was this? Okay. Fill water. There's unlimited water. Oh my god. Okay, I have some water. So I put it in this thing? No, I talked to her. Wait, and you have. Oh, I need 10. Jesus. Okay. Can I pick a lot? Yeah, I can. Look at me, I'm getting water bottles. Nice. What a weird mechanism. Oh, it has a capacity of 10, okay. Huh. Does it run out eventually? What do you mean? About the fact that the water goes like this? Come back here, bird! Ah, damn it, I almost got him. What's this? It's red. I think it's different. It was different. Come back! Yeah! Yeah! No! I mean, okay, fine. Okay, it looks like a bit of a rundown place. Oh, it's raining. No, it's not. Just some water. A little bit of just spitting rain. It's nice. Good weather effects. Yummy, originally infused water. Hell yeah, that's what Pericola was like sprinkling some in the fucking water. This is kind of our fault, isn't it? Well, not our fault, but the fault of the other people who are opening up that thing up there. Oh, it seems like a nice guy. What do you mean? Why would I talk? We're fighting. Fuckwit. We're beating up these damn things. Look at all the dead people. That's one thing this game does a lot more of, like that. Like I said, more scale. The scale of like enemies and like battlefields. They do a decent job of it for a gacha game. You can't expect everything from gachas, but what do you do? Die. Just hit him with this. Hit him with that old Originium stare, Pericola. You know, do you reckon there's like Fent walkers, but for Originium, they're just like got like oripathy and they're like, oh, bent over, like fucking shuffling around like zombies. Wait, what the fuck is this? Huh? The hell? Are they like working together? Let's beat this one up. I don't like how it's making this laser go to things. My god, did it just turn into a giant fucking PNG on the ground? That's funny. Die. 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 And there... So yeah, I really need to work on making my characters sort of... Ooh. Let's go check out the women over there. I mean, what? Let's see, that's another thing I need to check on. Are the NPCs even better designed here? Alright, so here's our first real look at an NPC. About the same. A little bit different, but that just might be the variance of the region. So they're just a bunch of. Oh look, this is these are these their sex slaves? I mean what? Just standing around. Yeah, they still got the same problem of being kind of like all the same looking with their little tails and stuff. Anyway, let's go beat them up. What are you doing over here, mister? Die! There we go. Neat. Okay, what else have we got? Well, you still got feet, don't worry about it. Go back here. Eh. Get him on his own, he's on his own, beat him up! Look like they click randomize on him. See, if you want to see really impressive NPCs, Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless. Oh, she's kind of cute. The little hairdo there. It's a little bit cuter than the usual. It's not that impressive, but it's cuter. Zenless Zone Zero has extraordinarily impressive main characters. Bonk. 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 Let's go beat up that. Okay, one thing I'm getting a little annoyed with though. I have a theory that I think would have been better in this case, and I'll just talk about it in a second. Die. Die. Because they showed me they could do this before, but I'm a little shocked. So, see these two guys. So these two here, they had their sword, they had those spears out, right? Why weren't they fighting when I got here? What they should have done is they should have had a few guys fighting the enemies in this particular case here with infinite health, like so they weren't actually hurting until I got in, and then like the fight just continued as normal. Because then you could have had like this kind of more fluid sense of the world. That's just something I noticed, and I only bring that up because they could have done that. Because they were like, see, these guys should be fighting already, not just standing there. It just feels a little like, fuck. Yeah, so because I've seen them do it before where they made them fight the enemies and stuff, and I just feel like they should have done that here. Because you want to give a little bit more of a sense of fighting and like reality to your world. It puts you aside from other places. Look at this guy just standing there, protecting his fucking chili or whatever the fuck. Wait, why are we getting cutscene? I didn't even do them all. For the fam. Oh look, you can see water on them. Alright. See, like, we're finally, like, didn't I say this before? Why isn't there, like, some sort of trouble between the people in, like, the last place we went? It's all like, everyone's happy, living in a fucking commune. But here, we actually have some difficulties. Okay? Oh yeah, it's just the water. They're doing some water effects. I don't know how it looks on your end, but it looks pretty good on my end. But the more important thing is we need to look at Perika's legs in a second there, because she's got tights on. Let me, how do I change my character again? Ooh. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent use of water, my friends. I'm staring at her tail. What's she gonna do? 10 out of 10. Excellent. Excellent. A good Parakeet's legs. Not bad, not bad. Very good. A bit too wet on the inside there. Like, what the fuck happened? Jesus Christ. Did you not go to the bathroom? Yeah, the water's really good effects. Like, even just putting aside gooning for a moment. Alright, we got another place to go. So it looks like they're just like a bunch of dudes like living out here in the middle of nowhere. Ooh, free stuff. Here I come, victory! Okay, that was, it would have been better if I could fly in. Fuck you. Ha! Good one. Bonk. Got another one. Okay, they're doing. I'm gonna go for that one. What are you doing? Not that. I have no idea what it's actually doing, but I don't like it. Makes me nervous. Bonk. Like, I'm not expecting the guys on the ground to like move in that, but the guys with the blades could moving around and attack would be like, it would be a cool little effect. Maybe that was the point, filling one with error with Unity, showing that's how it's going to seem with everywhere and related isn't, when they already follow through with such things. That is a theory. Considering this is area is already out in the game, you could argue that that's correct. But I think it went a little too far in the first area. Like, you can still have everywhere have Unity and have a little bit of gruffness and a little bit of like interest going on, but the other place is just... I think I like this area mostly because I get to see his tummy. Name's Dark Mask. I'm new.
そっちもなんか砦の人と違う感じするかも。入ったばっかりとか？バカか。親友は何年もずっと俺様たちの仲間だ。
Oh?
親友助かったぜ。やるじゃねえか。こんなとこ隠れるとはな。
What do you mean hide? You're just standing in a field.
天使府で緊急時の避難方法を習ったことがあるの。さすが正派の天才。レールをしたぜ。
What? So they have like actual fucking scientists who are originally from the city in this place? What the fuck?
そんな恥ずかしい呼び方やめてよ。まったく。私みんなを連れて先に戻ってるからね。
Interesting. So like, why are the scientists here? Why are there people that don't look like... Okay, they're bandits, right? But like, why are they bandits? Heavenly Majesty. That'd be fun. Well, I figured. Okay, I mean, fighting them, that's fine. Fixing that bridge was literally just putting a bit of water in some bottles. I wouldn't know until maybe I play the game someday myself. Yeah, wait, what's this? Maybe it went a little too far because it actually straight up be a cult, make the cult seem like more beliefs are followed. See, that's the big theory that's going around online right now. The big theory, or rather the joke element that's going around online right now, is that that it's a cult secretly, because it is the most interesting option left to us, and I kind of deal with it. I kind of fuck with it. But it is. I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like if it does happen, it will be amazing, and I'd want it to happen, but I just don't see it right now. But then again, This is Wulong, and I haven't finished Wulong, so I'll have to go through it. Bandit ethnic group. They are genetically predisposed. Information procured by the origin of gender. Oh my god, these are the dirty bandits. Our they're genetically predisposed to banditry. In parenthesis, they have bad reactions to they have bad reactions to originium and should be removed from the gene pool. Ah, I see the cult going strong even here in Wulong. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. Chen is very cute. Oh, thanks. Ah, yeah, well, I am literally a perfect good guy. I'm literally Jesus. See, literally? Yep. We'll never... That is the Thai belief of Endfield. We shall never forsake anyone, especially if they have this rock. Have you heard of originium? See, this is a shock. It's a shock that people don't know Endfield after how they've treated Endfield in the last part. In the last part, Endfield was like, Endfield? The big government? The corporation that that reigns above us all with spaceships? And then here it's like, the fuck is an Endfield? How will I explain it? A very big banditry group. Nah, I don't like this. See, this encapsulates my issues. We're here to help you. Our mission is to help everyone. Have fun. We're here to help. Just leave it at that. It's the most boring I can get. They probably have problems with authority. Oh, look, she's so cute. I really like this girl. Her design isn't crazy, but like I like her silliness and like her face is nice. Is they gonna let me build a lovely industrial district out the back in place of all of the bamboo forests? Oh, you're so kind. Yay! Everyone loves me! But at least I deserve this love for once. Like, Jesus Christ. The clapping's a bit cringe, but whatever it is. They say something different in Japanese for reference here. But, I don't know if we went a little overboard. I mean, I am technically a motherfucking CEO of the fucking biggest company that controls half the world's technological supplies and acts as a mediator and essential de facto global civilization leader. I am Jesus. And they're a bunch of bandits. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Did we go overboard with the act? No. But congratulations. You've joined forces with the biggest force in the world, bandit group. Now, if you were literally like Jesus, then you must also be sacrificed to save everything and everyone, and then their sins would automatically be interesting and actually slower. And if they slowly showed... I'm just leaving fucking Chen, your hands getting tired? Chen, your hands getting tired? You just really like clapping? And everyone is saved. Well, unironically, they might be going for that because, like, you are implied to have losing something. If you die at the end of the game, which we know, if this is a gacha, we won't see that for about a decade. I'd be happy. That'd be fun. But I don't know if they would. Are we going to land breakers? I gotta go save more people. Yes, fluffy-eared girl. Honestly, whenever I'm not a furry, but that's basically everyone's response in fucking Endfield. Because look at this. Oh, she's grabbing her tail. I didn't know she did this. Can I grab her tail? What is? Oh, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. Why is she shaking her hand like she's threatening me with like? Let me look again. I'll look again. I'm gonna look again. I'm looking at her tail. I'm tail looking. I'm tail looking. I'm tail looking. Get angry again. Oh. Oh, look at it play with the tail. I can't make it look. I don't think she's, yeah, I don't think she's gonna get upset. Because I think she was like fucking, with her hand, it looks like she was making a jack off symbol. And by the way, she doesn't have underwear. She has like fucking, shorts. That's why her skirt is ridiculously short. Damn it, I can't get it. Why does it work sometimes? Well, enough trying to look up the skirts of these random anime girls. I think I'm gonna have to leave it here. Because I have things to do. So, I hope you enjoyed the lecture that we went through, the discussion of Chapter 1, which really had a few issues. Chapter 2, as most gaches, has improved, but can it overcome the poor lore logic? Can it overcome the foundation that it's built upon this swamp? You might be able to build a lovely thing, but on top of this swamp, can you do that? No, don't leave me. Well, I must, because unfortunately, I have editing to do. Tomorrow, I might play more of this, or I might play some Zenless, or who knows. Or maybe I'll just play some Expedition 33. I got no fucking idea. I will make up my mind when I get there. But thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening to me yap, and I do appreciate you guys hanging out. So I will catch y'all in the next one.